From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, welcoming you to a week of old-time radio detective podcast from 2013. Because these podcast episodes are quite old, offers and information contained in them are not valid unless they are reflected on our website at greatdetectives.net. Now enjoy a week of podcasts from our archives at the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives. Well, before we do get started, I do want to let you know our listener support campaign continues. And can support the show by going to support.greatdetectives.net. Every donation of $7 or more receives access to our premium site, and donations of $20 or more receive a free digital copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo, as well as your choice of another thank you gift. Among those available are some of the other ebooks I've written, including What Made the Golden Age Shine, my sort of Golden Age manifesto, on what's so great about Golden Age entertainment, and the two recent sequels to my novel Tales of the Dim Night, Powerhouse Flies Again, and Rise of the Robo-Lawyers. That's at the $20 level. At the $50 level, we have your choice of BBC Radio 4 Poirot mysteries available. Poirot or Marple. And there are a lot of other options. You can view all of them at support.greatdetectives.net. Now it's time for today's adventure of Frank Race, the adventure of the Candy Killing.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubov, with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over, too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for the adventure of the Candy Killing.
From the railroad station, you could see the full length of the main street. 3 short blocks to where your gaze stubbed itself on a brewery that glowered in the stare of an inquisitive moon. It wasn't much after 8, yet only 15 or 20 cars lined the curb, most of them taking up space in front of a busy spot labeled Finney's Pool Room.
All right, so what now? It's a cinch we ain't going to need a cab in this bike.
Hardly. There's the McKinley Hotel across the street. Let's go.
Okay. Look, will you tell me something? Why would anybody want to live in such a whistle stop?
My family seemed to find a reason. You see, Mark, I was born here.
Doing. I had opened my big yap. Why don't you tell a guy these things?
I haven't seen the place for 15 years. You know the saying, Marcus. You can't go home again. You leave a place with a picture of it in your mind. You go back after a gap of years. It's never the same. It's always smaller, grayer, meaner.
Yeah. Well, so this is the hotel, huh? Oh, brother, I'll bet there's a cribbage board in every room. Yes, gentlemen?
We'd like a room. And you might tell me if you have a Clifford Raymond registered.
Raymond? Yes, room 213.
Thanks. Mark, you register for us. I'm going to see if Raymond is in. Hello, Cliff. I thought I... Cliff, what's the matter with you?
Come in, Race. Come in quick. Something horrible has happened.
He looked it. Something had hit him high on the left side of his face. Even Madison Square Garden doesn't produce many eyes to match this one.
Close the door, Race. I gotta sit down.
Better let me do something for you, Cliff.
I guess so.
He went over sideways from weakness all the way to the floor. I swung toward the bathroom to soak some towels. But it was a foot that stopped me. A woman's foot, a foot, and an ankle, with the rest of her on the other side of the half-open closet door. All the wet towels in the world wouldn't have helped this girl. Her purse, spilled open, lay alongside her. It held a powder puff and lipstick. There was also a few coins and a folder of matches that I picked up. The matches had come from some spot called the Circle.
Dead, isn't she?
Yes.
Race, I gotta get away.
We better talk it over, Cliff. Running is never the right answer.
I can't stay here, Race. Somebody will come, and if I'll talk to you, Race, but get me out of here, will you?
It wasn't easy, getting him downstairs through that cubicle of a lobby. But he was game enough to act the part of a drunk, and I kept telling myself he was a decent sort of Joe with a likable girl for a wife and a couple of cute kids. I had to keep inoculating myself with this line of thought, because if Cliff Raymond had killed that girl, I was building myself into a high-geared accessory after the fact, a felony. And when felonies are connected with murder, the chips come high.
This is my car, Race. I'll get the back. I gotta lie down.
I better get you to a doctor, Cliff.
No. Just drive me around while we talk.
Okay. Who was that girl, Cliff?
Candy Manson.
She live in town?
Yeah, she lived here.
Somebody shot her.
I figured that was it.
Seems to have happened in your room.
I don't want to talk about it, Race.
I'm afraid you're going to have to talk about it, Cliff. I'll try to look at it sensibly. You arranged to meet me here so we can discuss a job I'm on for Intercontinental Underwriters. I find you in a hotel room with a girl who's been murdered. If I'm going to help you, I must know what happened.
I don't know what happened. I just walked in the room and someone hit me.
But you knew the girl.
Yeah. I might as well admit it. I've been in love with her, Race. That's why I wanted you to meet me here so I could see her. Funny how a guy will do things like that, isn't it? Funny. A guy like me with a wife like Felice. Oh, funny.
Take it easy. How long have you been in Lexicon, Cliff?
3 or 4 days. Oh, I'm quite a well-known figure around town. What am I going to do, Race? What about Felice? And the kids?
You're going to give yourself up right now. Police headquarters, a stubby brick building next to a rundown theater. We were turned over to a man with eyes that made me think of drill tips. Garrison, chief of police. He listened to us without interrupting, and his first question was addressed to me.
What's your stake in this?
I'm an investigator. Also an attorney, licensed to practice in this state. Until Mr. Raymond decides otherwise, I'm his counsel.
Sounds all right, Race. We'll check on it naturally.
Naturally. And by the way, who's editing the Chronicle now? Still one of the Tedrow family?
Who else? Lance Tedrow.
Now you might tell me something else. Who runs a spot around here called the Circle?
You kidding?
I lived in Lexicon once, but it was years ago. There's a lot I don't know about this place.
Jim Trafton runs a Circle. Why?
Just a thought. I may want to see him after I've seen Tedrow. Lance Tedrow. He and I had kicked around together in high school. Jim Trafton had been one of the gang, too. Finding the Tedrow house again brought me a nostalgia that was almost an ache. Big, old-fashioned, lawns like putting greens. The Tedrow place.
Frank, this is great. I couldn't believe it when they told me you'd called. Let's pour a few for old time's sake.
I'll take a rain check on that, Lance. I only came for a few minutes to ask you to suppress some news.
Suppress some news?
I imagine you already know about the Manson girl's murder.
Oh, yeah, I got 2 of the boys working on it now.
Cliff Raymond's a friend of mine. I'd like to keep the news out of the Chicago papers. It would mean a lot to me. He has a nice wife, a couple of cute kids.
Oh, it's not hard to say yes to that. I'll have to break it locally, though.
Of course.
Okay, now I said yes to you, and you're going to say the same about those drinks.
Not tonight, Lance, but I'll make it tomorrow. No kidding. Back at the hotel, I found a note propped on the dresser. It was signed by Mark Donovan and said, I put up with this wallpaper for an hour. You'll find me shooting pool at Finney's. And that's where he was, involved with a couple of Q sharks intent on lightening his monetary assets.
Oh, hi, Rash. About time you got around.
I was just thinking the same thing. Let's go.
Suppose you don't want to go.
The lad who had spoken hadn't been playing pool. He stood leaning against the counter. A grin separated his lips, but he was no Rotarian. And with him he had two companions who were obviously voting the same ticket.
You heard me. I said suppose you don't want to go.
Hey, what's it to you?
Stay with your game, chum. Got a couple of bets on it, ain't you?
All right, I'll pay you off the bets. How about minding your own business? Huh?
Yeah, this happens to be my business. Take my advice, chum. Stay with the game. Your boyfriends come with us.
I saw Mark glance around, watch his eyes go back to the pool cue he'd been holding. Simulating a shot, he slowly pulled the cue through the fingers of his left hand.
Maybe I ought to stay, Race. I figure to clean up on this game.
Now you're playing it smart, chum. Nobody ever went wrong taking advice from it.
Come on, Race, come on!
It wasn't quite that simple. The pool cue had been put Laughing Boy out of action, but his partners moved in. I took a couple of hard ones, gave one back, and we broke for the street.
You know, Race, I'll never forget that guy's kiss. He was so busy being tough, he leaves himself wide open. I'm telling you, he won't straighten up for a month.
You're quite a man with a pool cue.
Yeah, Natch. But, look, what goes anyway? I thought this was your hometown.
Cliff Raymond's in a jam, Mark. The girl's been murdered, and I think he's being framed for it. That scuffle was probably the first move to brush me out of the picture.
In the little old hometown? What do you know?
It can be a tough town on the wrong side of the tracks, Mark. It's always been that way.
Well, where are we going now? Huh?
To find a place called the Circle. I have a feeling it'll present a fancy front of some kind with an inner sanctum dedicated to the goddess of chance. You first went into a restaurant, a pretty swank establishment for a town the size of Lexicon. And it didn't take long to spot the portal to the gambling section. An unobtrusive door guarded by a lot of bulk in a dinner jacket. A lot of bulk with a face like an obstacle course. But before I had a chance to try diplomacy on him, the portal opened and a man came out. A man I recognized as Jim Trafton.
I'll be back in a few minutes, Eddie.
Hello, Jim.
Well, I'll be a joker wild. Frank Race.
After all these years.
Do I want to talk to you? You go on inside and stay there till I get back. A little matter to take care of on the outside. Then go to the bar. You'll find my sister there. Maybe you remember her.
Vaguely. She was with the youngest set, wasn't she?
Yeah, by about 10 years. You go ahead, Frank. I'll see you.
An immense room with the hush of a cathedral. There were perhaps 30 or 40 people actively engaged in the pursuits of chance. We drew glances from only 2 or 3 of them. Very discreet glances that asked no questions and volunteered no answers.
Holy cow, what a joint.
Trafton seems to be doing all right.
Guy could use snowshoes on his carpet. Look, what do you say I just kick around the place and see what I can pick up?
Okay, Mark. There were 3 empty seats at the bar. One of them alongside a pair of legs delightfully designed for display. The rest of the lady matched the legs, and that was enough for me, so I sat down next to her.
Sorry, it's taken.
It would be, but I could mind it for the man, couldn't I?
Oh, I don't think he'd mind too much.
Then he's either very drunk or very old.
Well, he's neither one. He just happens to be my brother.
Jim Trafton?
You've been reading my palm.
No, Jim and I are old friends. I just saw him outside, and he told me you'd be here. I'm Frank Race. Jim and I went...
Frank Race? Wait a minute. I know all about Jim and you. When I think of the crush I had on you. Hey, let me get a good look at you. Maybe I could suffer a relapse.
While you're looking, you might tell me something.
What?
Does Jim know Candy Manson?
Candy Manson? Why?
She's been murdered.
You're not serious.
Deadly serious. What kind of girl was she, June?
Oh, sweet. Kind of crazy, maybe, but sweet.
What are you talking about, chick?
Well, I'm talking about... Jim. Jim, do you...
Do I know about Candy? Yeah, I know. I know something else, too. 3 characters just cracked the jail wide open, killed one of the guards, and turned loose the guy they were holding for Candy's murder.
I didn't wait, not even for Mark. I just headed for the door, but I'd barely hit the street when...
Just a moment, you!
It was Garrison, chief of police, crawling out of a black sedan. He stood in the gutter, swayed for an instant, then leaned against the car. In the light from the marquee, I could see he'd been shot.
I get one break tonight anyway, running into you. All right, get up against that wall.
Take it easy, Chief. I had nothing to do with that jailbreak.
No? Let's see if you're still saying that 30 minutes from now.
He lurched clear of the car, and I caught the glint of a pistol in his hand. Here was a man enraged, feverish, half out of his head. I started easing back toward the haven of the circle's doorway.
You heard what I said? Get up against the wall. Make one more phony move, I'll blast you.
You're off base on this, Chief, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to...
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
It was only Chief Garrison's condition that kept his bullets from plowing into my body. Weakness from his wound acted in my behalf, causing it to fall just as he began firing. I leaped back to him, kicked the pistol aside, and bent down to help him.
Oh, let me alone. Just let me alone.
I'm going to get you into that car and then see if I can talk some sense into you.
Hey, what goes on out here? What is
Give me a lift, Marcus. We'll get him into the back seat before that crowd gets out here.
All right, come on. This guy's heavy. Come on. Look, who is he anyway?
He's the chief of police. Get in and drive us away, quickly.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Race, where you going?
For a ride, Jim. See you later.
Great. Ducked in the head of the police department. This should only get us from 1 to 10 at hard labor.
Calling car 1.
That microphone on the dash, Mark. Tell him to go ahead. Grunt it, sort of.
Okay. Come on.
You won't get away with this.
Chief, just listen to me, will you? Would I have brought Cliff Raymond in?
Just flush armed suspect on Crest Road, east of the bridge. He ducked into Larkin's old barn with his moon. He ain't gonna get away. Hey, you sound kind of funny, Chief. That won't bother you?
Gun it, Mark. Turn left at the next road.
Yeah. Hey, what's the pitch now?
We're heading for Crest Road and Larkin's farm. Chief, you've got to listen. Somebody's trying to frame Cliff Raymond for that killing. That's why those thugs pulled a jailbreak, so he'd look guiltier than ever. You heard what your prowl car said. One man alone running across a field. I'll bet that's Raymond on his own.
Oh, go ahead. Make it good.
I want you to give me the right to talk to Raymond. I'll persuade him to give himself up. Think about it. He voluntarily surrendered in the first place, and I talked him into it.
Oh, all right. You're dealing the cards, Race. I'll play him your way.
Well, there's the prowl car over by the barn, but where's the cops?
Probably both out after Raymond.
Hey, they're shooting.
How about it, Chief? Can you make it that far?
Why don't you run ahead? Tell him to wait till I get there.
I'll do it. Stay with the chief, Mark. I've got to make it before it's too late.
I still said it won't do no good. That guy's holed up in there, and we're going to have to kill him to get him out.
You're sure it's Cliff Raymond?
Positive. Tompkins got a good look at him.
Then he'll come out peacefully. Here's the chief now.
What about this Angelo?
It's Raymond, all right. He's got a .45. Seems to know how to use it, too.
Let me take over, Chief.
Oh, it's on your own head, Race.
I'm not worried. He'll come out. Cliff Raymond had holed up in the loft of the large barn, taking advantage of hay and heavy timbers for concealment and protection. I went into the barn slowly, talking to him all the way. Nothing happened until I'd almost reached the ladder going up to the loft.
That's just far enough, Race.
Okay, Cliff. I'll stand here and talk to you.
I've only one thing to say. I'm not letting those people take me, not alive.
Cliff, listen to me. I'm convinced that you're being framed. With a little time, I think I can prove it. But you'll have to take it on the chin in the meantime.
The answer is no. They're going to say now that I broke jail. I haven't a chance, Race, and you know it.
Let me decide that, Cliff. That's the way your wife would want it.
Yeah. That's the way she'd want it.
The news didn't go to Chicago, Cliff. I arranged that for you. Now, how about it? Come on out with me. Stand trial if you have to.
All right, Race. I'll come with you. But remember this. If you're wrong, you're sending me to the death house.
Hello, Race. Care for company?
In this case, there's nothing I'd like better.
Rather early in the day for scotch and sodas, isn't it?
Believe it or not, it's necessary therapy. Late last night, I took a man's life in my hands. Now I'm not so sure I know what to do with it.
Cliff Raymond?
Yes.
I hear you talked him into giving himself up.
I'm beginning to think I might have been a trifle hasty. A little too full of the old college try.
What's it all about, Race? I haven't seen the papers yet.
Jealousy, that's the answer I keep getting. Cliff Raymond thought he was getting an exclusive on Candy Manson. That's what somebody else seemed to want, too. That's why she was murdered. When Raymond walked into it, he was slugged.
But why all this after effect? Why didn't the killer just let everything lay?
I've been wondering about that.
Look at the trouble you've been getting.
That could stem from the fact that Cliff and I were seen leaving the hotel last night. I know the clerk spotted us.
Ralph Bowers, little fellow, sandy-haired.
That checks. And so do the possibilities. He could have seen the killer go in and out, too. I think I'll pay this Bowers a visit.
Probably won't be on duty now.
Care to help me find him?
June Trafton, Private Islet.
At the Hotel McKinley, we were told that Bowers had quarters in the hotel basement, that he'd very likely be in at the moment. We went down to a corridor with all the warmth and cheer of a cold storage bin.
This must be the door. Shall I knock?
Go ahead.
Well, no problem of entry here. Just a tap and the thing. Hey, you better be the one to go in, Race.
Doesn't seem as though there's anyone here. Maybe Bowers...
What's the matter? What are you staring at?
Can you stand the sight of violence, baby?
Well, up to a point. Why have you... Oh, merciful heavens.
He'd been shot through the face, right alongside the nose, and it wasn't pretty. June stood it for a minute or so, then all her warm color began to drain.
Race, if you don't mind...
You want to get lost, baby?
I think I'd better. You'll find me at Jim's place.
I felt I had to look around. So far, I hadn't turned up a single ingredient that could remotely be called a clue. I went over every square foot of the room, even working on hands and knees, and finally found the bullet embedded in the wall alongside and almost under a light fixture. A .32 caliber slug. I dug it out of the plaster and dropped it into my pocket. At the same instant, the door opened.
Well, if it ain't the busy little beaver.
It was the laughing boy of the pool hall, gripping a .45 that looked like a bazooka and wearing the new look, a snarl. It was a moment when the Luger under my armpit offered no comfort in the least.
You're just naturally a nosy guy, ain't you?
Happens to be my business.
I got news for you, chum. As of now, you're going out of business. Come on.
There were 3 more of them in the corridor, and it suddenly came over me that this was no charade.
We're taking you down to sub-cellar.
Nothing like the right acoustics for this sort of thing.
Funny, huh? And we'll see how lippy you can be in a minute or so. Open the door, Nick. Get the light.
A yellow glare lighting up a tomb. That's the way that light and that sub-cellar looked to me. Laughing boy gave me a shove, and I started down the steps in front of him. And this was his mistake, because in the middle of the steps, I suddenly sat down, letting them spill over me. I had the Luger out now and got a line on that light. What are you doing, June? Drinking him straight?
For the first time in my life. But after seeing poor little Bowers, I felt I had it coming. Why was he murdered, Race?
Knew too much? I'll take a scotch and soda, bartender.
You look a little mussed up. Trouble?
Nothing that'll have a lasting effect on me.
I've been thinking about this, Race. It might be a good thing for your client. He couldn't have killed Bowers this morning. Not while he's in the county jail.
Doesn't work out that way. Judging from the condition of his body, Bowers could have been killed last night, at the time Cliff Raymond was out on that jailbreak. Well, there's nothing like solid comfort.
And why not? You ain't been around all day, so I thought I'd stretch out on his bed and catch up on my reading. And for a small-town newspaper, this one ain't bad, Chum. You got a beautiful account of that kid's killing. Here, I will read. Listen to this. Murder stalked the corridors of the McKinley Hotel last night, claiming the life of Candace Manson, local secretary and winner of last year's countywide beauty contest. Miss Manson's body was discovered in the rooms of Clifford Raymond, now held on suspicion of having committed the crime. The victim was wearing a simple skirt, a matching wool sweater. Her purse, which had been spilled open, contained only a lipstick, a powder puff, a folder of matches from a well-known local night spot, and a sum of 13 cents.
Very well rendered, Marcus.
Well, wait a minute. Don't rendered mean torn apart?
Any calls?
Yeah, Jim Trafton. Wants you should call him right away. He's forming a citizens committee to stop these murders. He wants you at his office at 4.
I'll make it if I can, but I want to go down to the paper and get some information from Lance Tedrow first.
I called my home, and they said you were waiting here to see me, Frank.
Yes, Tedrow, Oh, you got Jim and June with you.
Yes, we're here.
Hey, I thought you were coming to our meeting.
Coming here seemed more important to me. I hope these people appreciate your newspaper, Lance. That account of Candy Manson's death was great.
Thanks, I did it myself.
Gave me the solution to her murder.
You're kidding.
When did you first go to Cliff Raymond's room and see Candy Manson's body?
As soon as Chief Garrison notified me of the crime.
Which was after Raymond and I had notified the chief.
I guess so.
You wrote in your account that the girl's purse held a lipstick, a powder puff, a folder of matches, and 13 cents.
A reporter's memory. Took a look around and wrote that several hours later.
You wrote it from memory, all right. But it must have been the memory of having been there when she was murdered. Because I picked up that folder of matches when I found her and carried it away with me.
That's a lot of fluff. What could you do with a story like that?
The story might be fluff, Tedrow, but this isn't. A .32 caliber automatic fired recently. I found it here in your desk drawer while you were away. Both Candy Manson and Ralph Bowers were killed by a .32, and Chief Garrison has the bullet that got Bowers. I'm betting they match up.
So you found a gun. Well, here's another one, a .38.
I'm all right, June. We'd better get Tedrow's arm bandaged. He's going to need it to write a confession.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubov with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, comes to you from Hollywood. Others heard in tonight's cast were Gloria Grant, Barney Phillips, Jack Crucian, Bill Crawford, and Tom Holland. This series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this time next week for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production.
Welcome back. Well, that was the first time in the whole series I've seen Race's law license invoked. Of course, it's been a long time since he practiced, so I'm not certain he'd still be part of the bar, but I know we have some lawyers in the audience. They might speak to that if they care to. Well, we have an email here from Lisa who says, will the iPhone app work from Japan? I'll be there for a while. I'd hate to miss your show. Well, thanks so much, Lisa. As far as I know, the app works internationally wherever your iPhone works, and I think the same is true for Android. If there are any countries specifically where folks have issues, I'd love to hear from you, but I think that it should work wherever you go, and hope you have safe travel over there to Japan. All right, well, that will actually do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with A Life in Your Hands, and then join us back here next Monday for the adventures of Frank Race. Well, our listener support campaign continues. All donations of $7 or more to support the show will receive access to our premium side. Those donating $20 or more will receive a free digital copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo. In addition, they'll receive one additional gift. Options include at the $50 level an autographed copy of my novel, Tales of the Dim Night, for those in the U.S. or Canada, and at the $100 level an audiobook copy of Tales of the Dim Night. There's a full list of all of the thank you gifts available over at support.greatdetectives.net. Now it's time to get into today's episode. This one is another one of those rehearsal recordings with no music. But here is Professor Allenby murdered.
Anything else, Miss Rogers?
Here's something, Mr. Kegg. A note from the alumni secretary at the university. He suggests you come visit a few days.
Every time I go up there, I'm tapped for part of a new baseball diamond or a stained glass window in the chapel.
You never seem to mind, Mr. Kegg.
It's worth it to talk with some of my old professors again.
At least you'd be away from murders and crime.
Maybe so. I can't think of any reason why a killer would pick a town that small or a campus that quiet. But you never know. You never know when you may be called upon to testify to an act of violence in which you have become involved quite innocently. Even now, somewhere in that small town, perhaps at the college, there may be a crime in the making.
So will that phone ever stop ringing so we can get on with this? Dr. Allenby. No, I have no comment. I told you newspaper people before I have nothing further to say about my discovery. No, I told you I have nothing to say. Goodbye. Hello. Is this the desk? Mrs. Crow, if anyone else calls, tell them I've left the faculty club. I can't be reached. Thank you. Now, back to my speech, Barlow. I was summarizing, I believe. Let's start the recording.
You have just compared Kalara Temple with other important discoveries when I stopped the machine. These recordings on tape are certainly perfect.
And my discovery of Kalara Temple will at last prove my theory. Namely, that the Mayan people came from the Orient through what we now know as Alaska, down the Pacific coast into Mexico and Yucatan. Further, and equally important, our findings will disprove much of the error, invention, and deliberate fantasy created by that prolific author of Journey to the Hidden Valley and The Golden Serpent. I am sure you can all identify the master of misinformation to whom I refer.
That was a very pointed barb at Mr. Weimer.
That was my intention, Barlow. Weimer's a fraud.
A disgrace to anthropology.
Yes. Why doesn't the machine go on?
The tape is still running. The pause is when you stopped for a glass of water.
Oh, yes, so I did. I didn't lose their attention either.
You can't blame them. As you said, the greatest discovery since King Tut's tomb was opened in 1922.
By now, I am sure you are wondering about my future plans for excavation. I will lead an expedition to the interior of Yucatan as soon as possible. We will return with a golden treasure that will beggar the dreams of Spanish conquistadors. Thank you for your attention.
Exceptional paper, Dr. Allenby.
Yes, Barlow. Nice of you to record it for me.
I was glad to do it.
Good of you to feel that way. Now, what's wrong with the machine?
When the tape runs out, it always sounds like this.
There's no excuse for that confounded noise.
There we are.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you again.
I made a copy of your speech, Doctor.
What would I do with it? I have no machine to play it on.
I mean a transcript, a typewritten copy.
Well, tell someone else to bother me. And never mind the copy, Barlow. I'm coming. Wait a minute. Who is it?
Dr. Allenby?
Yes.
Message for you. Hi, Doc. Rocky's the name. Rocky Martin. Like I told you on the phone.
You said you had a message.
It's from me, Doc.
This faculty club is private. How did you get in here?
Through the front door, tipped my hat, and slipped the bouncer a $5.
The idea. I'll have you...
Relax, Doc. Take it easy.
Something I can do, Dr. Allenby?
Stay here, Barlow. I want you to hear every word of this conversation. Now, Martin, say what you have to say and get out.
Okay, Doc. I see here in the paper you found yourself some antique that's loaded with pots and pans made out of gold.
Come to the point.
I know guys who would finance a trip to Yucatan if they could get their hands on a piece of solid gold treasure. Now, you know where the stuff is. I know who'll back the trip.
This is preposterous. He's suggesting that you turn over the treasure of Kalara to...
hoodlums.
Get out.
We fence the stuff for you and give you a cut.
Will you leave my room?
We're not through talking.
I believe I can end the conversation. Hand me the phone, Barlow.
Give me that, you punk. That's better. It says here in the paper you've got a map of the place, Doc. Well, maybe that'd do. I'll ask my business partners, and I'll check back with you later. Take it over. So long, Dr. Allenby.
Telephone the police. Tell them to arrest that man and... No, this is ridiculous. I'll simply tell the doorman I refuse to see him again. How did he know about my speech anyway?
The newspaper. I mentioned...
He did say that. Let me see the paper.
I'll go on to my room now.
Barlow, you stupid... You did this. My entire speech, word for word. You and that infernal recording machine.
At no time did you mention that the report was confidential.
I've been charitable with you, Barlow. I've overlooked your incompetence as my assistant, and your jealousy, knowing full well you're a fool, a clumsy student, and a worse teacher. Now, by heaven, I'll... Weimar.
If I were you, Barlow, I would thrash the brilliant Dr. Allenby.
Get out of here, Weimar.
I read your speech, Doctor.
It was never supposed to be printed.
So, these things you say behind my back.
Stay away from me.
You call my work errors, inventions, deliberate fantasy. You dare speak of me in this manner.
You are a fraud.
For 25 years, while you stayed on your campus, read your books, and showed off before your students, I lived in jungles, endured fever, fought with the natives, studied, and wrote. Now you tell me I'm a fraud. You who found the Temple of Kalara after you read my report telling approximately where the center of Mayan culture was located.
That's a lie. Did you read Mr. Weimer's report, Dr. Allenby?
Get out. Get out, both of you!
I go. But I'll never forgive you. I'll repay you when the time is right.
Not Dr. Allenby.
I'm a liar. And a fool.
Good evening. The desk.
Gordon Weimer, please.
Mr. Panford, do you have a Gordon Weimer registered?
Weimer? Oh, yes. Room 407, Miss Crow.
I'm ringing Mr. Weimer.
Thank you.
Dr. Allenby told Chief Norcott 2 men are bothering him.
Allenby's an old fuss budget.
I heard him talking to you, Mr. Panford.
How did I know he wouldn't want to see any reporters? His speech was in the paper.
Only the man wasn't a reporter.
He said he was.
I'm sorry, there's no answer in 407. Any message for Mr. Weimer?
No, thank you.
The man said Dr. Allenby was expecting him.
$5 and you were sure. I certainly can't blame Dr. Allenby for... Good evening, the desk.
Is that you, Mrs. Crow?
Hello, Professor Barlow.
I'm dictating a letter, and I've come upon a word I can't spell.
Maybe one of us will know. Professor Barlow can't spell a word.
No. What is it?
What's the word, Professor?
You remember years ago they opened a tomb in Egypt, a king's tomb in one of the pyramids,
They called him King Tut.
King Tut.
T-U-T. That's all I remember.
I'm sending this letter to another professor and quoting Dr. Allenby. I just can't say King Tut. The full name is Tutankhamun.
Oh, dear. He has to have the full name. Tutankhamun.
Tell him to call the library.
Mr. Panford suggests you call the library.
That's a very good idea. The number is College 4920, isn't it? Would you get it for me, please?
Just a minute. I'm ringing the library.
Library.
Go ahead, please.
Would you mind checking the spelling on the name of King Tut of Egypt? It's pronounced Tutankhamun.
Oh, we're about ready to close. Almost 10 o'clock.
I would appreciate it.
Well, I'll have to go to the reference room. Take me a few minutes.
I don't mind waiting.
Suit yourself.
Is she going to look it up for you?
Yes, I told her I'd hold the line. I hope that won't tie up your switchboard, Mrs. Cole.
I'm not very busy. I could hold the call here. Ring you when she comes back.
No trouble. I'll just go on dictating my letters.
All right, Professor.
Mr. Robert Kennard, Harvard and Line Publishers, 120 Park Avenue, New York. Dear Bob, I hope by now you have looked over my latest draft on the manuscript and find it to your approval.
Imagine that. Professor Barlow thought we could spell Tutankhamun, or whatever it is.
One of the few around here that gives the help any credit. Most of them treat us like, just a minute, young man. Where do you think you're going?
I told you once tonight, pal. I've got business with Dr. Allenby.
He told me to keep you away from his room.
That's so.
Now you get out of this building before I call the police.
Okay. There's lots of ways to skin a cat.
What does that mean?
Skip it, Horatius. See you around.
Did you see him? The same man. He tried to break in here again.
That's nerve for you.
Today, Dr. Allenby presented his paper to the Archaeology Society and caused a sensation. You know how the tyrant can spellbind the crowd. Well, this time he outdid.
Good evening. The desk.
This is Gordon Weimer, 0407. I'm checking out in a few minutes. I want my bill ready so I can pay when I leave.
Thank you. Get 407's bill ready. He's checking out.
To Mr. James Roche, 1423.
How long should it take to look up a simple word in a reference book? And good evening. The desk. Hello. This is the desk. Hello, Dr. Allenby? Oh, this switchboard. Pan, something's wrong with Dr. Allenby's line.
Appreciating your cooperation, I remain truly yours, John Barlow.
I can hear Mr. Barlow all right. Hello. Hello, Mr. Barlow?
Hello, this is the library. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
The spelling on that word is Tutankhamen with an umlaut over the U.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
What's wrong with this switchboard? Hello. Hello, Dr. Allenby. Dr. Allenby. Mr. Panford. Dr. Allenby doesn't answer his phone. It's off the hook, but I can't get him to answer.
That newspaper fella. Maybe he got in the back way. Call the police, Miss Crow. I'm going upstairs.
Be careful. Be careful, Mr. Panford.
Go on, Mr. Panford.
Dr. Allenby was lying near the table, face down, arms outstretched, with a dagger in his back. His telephone was lying on the floor beside him.
When did the police arrive?
A few moments later.
Thank you, Mr. Panford. That'll be all. Coroner Broman. Yes? Yes, what is it you want?
My name is Jonathan Kegg. I'm an alumnus of the university, and I have many friends here. I'd like to offer my services.
In what capacity?
I often serve as amicus curiae in cases of this kind.
Amicus... Oh, Oh, yes, of course. I believe I recall your name, Jonathan Kegg. Well, certainly. Pull up a chair.
Thank you.
Quiet, everybody. Now, this gentleman is Mr. Kegg. He has a national reputation for serving as an amicus curiae, a friend of the court. He's kindly offered to help me in this inquest. Understand now, he represents no one. He simply uses expert knowledge and experience and his ability to cross-examine to get at the truth. Anything more, Mr. Kegg?
I believe that covers it.
You go right ahead.
Call Rocky Martin. I am not satisfied with some of his answers.
Mr. Martin, will you return to the stand?
Will you tell us again what you did after you were ordered to leave the faculty club?
The first time or the second time?
The second time.
I drive to the nearest place that's open, buy a cup of coffee, and try to figure out what to do next. Maybe I call my partners and tell them I'm getting the brush off. Maybe I forget the whole thing.
Can you prove you were in a cafe at the time Dr. Allenby was killed?
One of the girls on the counter might remember me. I gave her a little routine. She says, get lost.
We'll check on that. Will you tell us why you came to the campus to see Dr. Allenby?
I stopped in town for a hamburger. I see in the paper about a professor who knows where to lay hands on buried treasure. Being a small boy at heart, I figured it'd be good to pick up the dock and go digging. I call long distance a few other guys who say they'll bankroll the trip if the doc guarantees a payoff. What next is logical. I go see the doc.
And he refuses to cooperate?
He is insulting. He calls me a hoodlum. Me.
So you threaten to return and take the map that shows where the treasure is located.
I say maybe the map will do.
Chief of Police Norcart has testified that Dr. Allenby telephoned and said you threatened to take the map. He asked for police protection.
Maybe the doc was upset. Ask the little guy over there, Mr. Barlow. He heard what I told Allenby.
Why did you try to see Dr. Allenby again?
Give him a little time and people change their minds, you know.
What was his answer?
Like I say, I never popped the question. I never got upstairs.
That will be all. Next, please, Professor John Barlow. Professor Barlow, Mr. Martin says you were present when he talked to Dr. Allenby.
I was.
What happened at that meeting?
Mr. Martin entered the room as I was about to leave. He presented his proposition to Dr. Allenby, who flatly refused to be a party to it. Mr. Martin mentioned something about the map and said he intended to return.
Was his manner threatening?
He's a large man. He resented Dr. Allenby's refusal to cooperate.
Was Dr. Allenby concerned?
He said it was ridiculous.
When did you leave Dr. Allenby's room?
After Mr. Weimer came to see him.
Mr. Weimer?
Yes, a professor from another university.
Did he threaten Dr. Allenby?
He said he would never forgive Dr. Allenby and would repay him when the time was right.
When did you leave Dr. Allenby?
9:30 or so. I was flustered. You see, I had displeased him by giving a copy of his speech to the newspapers.
Did you argue?
Dr. Allenby had a violent temper, but I have weathered his storms for over 25 years.
You left his room and went to your own?
Yes. I had some letters to dictate.
You stayed in your room?
Yes.
You were on the same floor, near Allenby's room?
Yes, a few doors away.
You heard no unusual sounds? No loud conversation?
No. I really can't remember.
Thank you. That will be all. Mr. Gordon Weimer, please. Mr. Weimer, you were in Dr. Allenby's room on the night he was murdered, and you threatened him.
That is correct.
Why did you go there?
I was called a master of misinformation.
Then you had a case for libel?
I had every motive for murder.
Where were you when Allenby was murdered?
In my room, packing.
Was your room on the same floor as Dr. Allenby's?
I refuse to answer. I would do anything in my power to keep his justified executioner from being captured.
Quiet. Quiet, please.
Coroner Broman, I would like to request a recess until tomorrow morning. At that time, I would like to cross-examine an innocent bystander to the Allenby murder.
In compliance with Mr. Kegg's request, this coroner's jury is now adjourned. And we'll meet again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Do you recognize the three men seated directly in front of you?
I do. There's Professor Barlow. And the next, his name is Martin. Rocky Martin, I believe. And that's Mr. Weimer. On the night of the murder, Mr. Weimer asked for his bill and tried to leave. The police came. He resented being detained. When he heard what had happened, he started to cheer.
I believe Mr. Weimer called you earlier in the evening.
A few minutes before Dr. Allenby was murdered. He said he was leaving. I was surprised he was in his room because I had rung a little while before.
There was no answer the first time?
No, sir.
This Mr. Martin, are you sure he left the building?
He walked toward the door. That's all I saw.
Coroner Broman, Dr. Allenby was murdered a few minutes before 10 o'clock. At that time, Mr. Weimer did not answer the telephone in the room where he said he was packing. Also, the police report the waitress at the cafe does not remember Mr. Martin. Now, Mrs. Crow, there were other calls. Will you tell us about them?
Professor Barlow called.
Yes.
He couldn't spell a word. That king from Egypt, King Tut. He needed the full name, and the library checked it up for him.
Professor Barlow called the library, waited while someone found the spelling of Tutankhamun.
He asked us first. Mr. Panford suggested the library.
You looked up the number?
No. Professor Barlow had it handy.
What time was this?
A little before 10. He was still waiting on the phone when Dr. Allenby's light flashed.
This testimony definitely establishes the presence of Professor Barlow in his own room at the time of the murder. Now, I want you to remember each sound you heard on the switchboard. Say, 1 minute before the call from Dr. Allenby's room.
Mr. Weimer called.
A minute before Allenby's phone fell to the floor?
Yes.
What was his room number?
407.
Go on.
Professor Barlow was still dictating his letters.
While he waited for the librarian?
Yes. Then Dr. Allenby's light went on, and I answered, but I couldn't hear anything. I thought the switchboard was broken again.
What did you do?
I kept saying hello.
Anything else?
I opened the key. I could still hear Professor Barlow. Then the librarian told him how to spell the word, and the professor thanked her and hung up.
Nothing else? No other sound?
That switchboard makes funny sounds once in a while. I did hear a sound, like applause. People clapping.
Like applause. People clapping. Since the time we talked last night, Mrs. Crow, I have had a chance to record on this tape machine a crowd applauding. Now, will you kindly listen and see if this is what you heard?
No, that's not right. It was lighter. Further away. I don't exactly know how to tell it to you. What's that?
Well, nothing to be alarmed about. The tape has run off this roll. The end is flapping against the machine.
No, don't turn it off. That's it. That's what I heard.
Thank you, Mrs. Crow. That will be all. Mr. Barlow, you have a tape machine?
I dictate all my letters. As Mrs. Crow told you, I was doing my letters while I was waiting for the librarian.
I'm glad you finally remember your call to the library, Professor Barlow.
Yes, of course. Now that it was mentioned,
Coroner Broman, the testimony of our innocent bystander, Lottie Crow, can be interpreted in only one way. Professor John Barlow killed his friend, Dr. Allenby.
A man of your standing should be careful about accusing people, Mr. Kegg. Dr. Allenby and I
were hated enemies, mostly because he never noticed you.
I was his assistant.
And had taken his abuse for 25 years. You saw two other men who might be blamed for his death. You did what you wanted to do for a long, long time.
I was in my room.
It was very simple. You needed 3 minutes to walk down the hall, pick up a dagger Dr. Allenby kept on his desk, and kill him and return. You knew Mrs. Crow and Mr. Panford would be flattered and remember that you asked for a spelling. You knew the library would take at least 3 minutes to find the answer.
Mr. Panford suggested the library.
Professor Barlow had the phone number at his elbow. He would have had the idea himself if Mr. Panford were not resourceful.
I see nothing to deny. You have no proof.
You knew every switchboard operator checks long calls to see if the parties are still talking. And so you were heard talking. dictating letters. Tape recorded hours before.
But I could hear him.
You heard the tape recorder, Mrs. Crow, while Professor Barlow was down the hall murdering his friend. He didn't get back in time. There was an unexpected struggle. Dr. Allenby's telephone fell to the floor. Barlow hurried, but the tape had run out and was flapping against the machine. He picked up his telephone, talked to the librarian, and hung up.
I deny it.
How do you spell Tutankhamun?
Tutankham.
With an umlaut over the U. That is right, Professor. And you learned that spelling years ago. No archaeologist or anthropologist in the world would miss it.
I hated him. He would claim my work. He said I was stupid, not even a good teacher.
Coroner Broman, I recommend that you instruct this jury to find that William Allenby died at the hands of his assistant in the anthropology department, Professor John Barlow.
An anthropologist who couldn't spell King Tut's full name. Was that what got you on the track, Mr. Kegg?
Well, if you remember, that fact was not mentioned until Mrs. Crow took the witness stand.
That's right.
The tip-off was Professor Barlow. He said he was the murdered man's friend. He was anxious to help find the killer. No trace of hate. And yet he admitted he had weathered 25 years of Dr. Allenby's storms. If anyone is persecuted and held down long enough, hate builds and someday it flares out.
I still think King Tut had something to do with it.
Professor Barlow should have remembered the curses of death found in the tomb of Tutankhamun. He might have asked the library how to spell a different word. Good night.
Welcome back. Well, this is probably my least favorite episode of A Life in Your Hands so far. Because really the solution was telegraphed. It's, I saw it kind of from the beginning that what he was doing with the recording. Maybe I've just been listening to too many detective shows, but this one seemed just way too obvious and easy. So hopefully they'll step it up a notch for the last episode of the series we'll play next week. Well, we turn to listener comments and feedback, and we received several emails from folks when we had an issue with one of the episodes not playing. Apologize for that. Usually, when I receive these, I'm not actually able to access them or edit the podcast at all until I get home from work about 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So I appreciate everybody's patience when something happens. But Kelly noted in her email, I've been listening to your show since the beginning, and now I have my husband hooked on the lineup and A Life in Your Hands. Thanks for all you do. Well, I'm glad your husband is listening to those two. And, of course, A Life in Your Hands is ending, but lineup will be on Saturday. Tomorrow we have Let George Do It, and I hope you'll be listening. Well, our listener support campaign continues. During the listener support campaign, you can financially support the show, and we add a few additional thank you gifts. Throughout the year, if you send a donation of $7 or more, we'll send you access to our premium site. During the listener support campaign, all donations of $20 or more will receive a free digital copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. In addition, we'll receive one additional thank you gift. Among the options available, at the $50 level and at the $100 level, we have Radio Archives gift certificates. The size of the gift certificate is larger for the larger donation. At the $50 level, you can purchase basically one of their smaller radio sets. And they have episodes of Let George Do It that we actually haven't played on the program, that were re-syndicated in Canada and remastered by them. At the $50 level, you can get Let George Do It, Volume 4, or any of the similar radio sets. At the $100 level, you can get Let George Do It, Volume 1 or Volume 2, which are 10-hour sets with a great number of episodes not having been played in this particular series and the ones that are in general circulation. Of course, there are other options at radioarchives.com if you want some other set, and you can view all of our thank you gives options at support.greatdetectives.net. Now it is time for today's episode of Let George Do It, The Four Seasons.
Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you've got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. In a moment, we'll begin tonight's adventure of George Valentine. But first, here's a reminder that a one-feature gasoline may be making your car act old before its time. Engine gas can be made to stress one feature at the expense of others. Chevron Supreme gasoline gives you the correct balance of not one, not two, but 8 high-performance qualities. Quick starting, fast warm-up, smooth acceleration, anti-knock, vapor lock prevention, full power, area blending, and economy mileage. So to get the most out of your driving, get Chevron Supreme. Just drive in and say, fill her up with Chevron Supreme gasoline at any standard station or independent Chevron gas station where they say and mean we take better care of your car. And now, tonight's story, The Four Seasons, a transcribed adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, anyone with a romantic name like yours must be willing to share a romantic adventure. Or to be more exact, an adventure in the name of and for the glory of love. Needless to say, I wouldn't call on you unless there wasn't an element of danger. But then, isn't that what makes an affair of the heart the more intriguing? Please come to see me this afternoon
at 2, and please come alone. Expectantly yours, Donna Mae Lawson. Well,
Donna Mae Lawson.
I like her nerve. Alone.
Donna Mae.
A romantic adventure.
Oh, but you don't understand, Angel. Donna Mae Lawson. Yeah, I flunked medieval history in college because of this gal.
You mean she wouldn't let you copy from her paper?
No, nothing as intimate as that, Brooksy. You see, she was in a musical comedy, and had stayed in town for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, matinees Wednesday and Saturday, 2:30. Same time as my class in medieval history.
I know, you had a conflict.
On my history exam, they asked who sank the Spanish Armada, and the only name I could think of was Donna Mae Lawson, the most beautiful showgirl in the world, to quote the posters.
And I thought you worked your way through college.
Yeah, except on those Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yeah, she couldn't have been more than a kid then.
Well, she's a big girl now, with a yen for adventure.
Yeah, she said there was a danger. Maybe murder. Well, now, if I see her, it's, wholesome curiosity.
Yeah. Boys go through stages. First dolls, then girls, then murder, then girl again. George, she probably still has showgirl written all over her.
Now, Angel.
And I'm afraid you may like the handwriting.
Brooksy, I'll make you a promise. If Donna Mae sings any siren songs, I'll close my ears.
It's not your ears I'm worried about, it's your eyes.
You're very prompt, Mr. Valentine. Here, please sit down.
Thanks.
Well,
anything wrong?
On the contrary, I didn't mean to stare, but I couldn't help it. My mother decided I was going to be a girl baby.
She did an inspired job.
You know, before you came in, I was trying to imagine what kind of a man would make a career of doing, well, anything.
And I hope doing anything well.
Anyway, Mr. Valentine, you're just as I imagined.
Yeah. Now, about the dangerous adventure you wrote about.
I want you to deliver a small box to a place only 30 miles away from here.
That sounds real dangerous.
I'll pay you $50 for doing it.
Oh, now, look, I don't want to undersell myself, but I think you could get a Western Union boy to deliver it for, let's say, $45.
Take a good look at these 4 miniatures, Mr. Valentine.
They're very nice, but...
They're worth at least $50,000.
What?
They're the only miniatures Rubens ever painted. The 4 seasons of love. Temptation, passion, contentment, regret.
I see. Silver lovebirds, grinning cupids, fawns on the hoof. Very pretty.
And very costly. Rubens painted them for the girlfriend of the Duke of Mantua. It set the Duke back 2,000 crowns, and that was before inflation. Some women have a way with men, don't they?
Yes, don't they?
I've heard at least one collector admit he was tempted to commit murder for these beautiful things. They're considered Rubens' masterpiece.
Well, all in all, I can see why you want to take fairly good care of them.
Unfortunately, I'm forced to sell them.
Oh?
Yes. You see, my husband...
Oh. I mean, just... Oh.
Yes, it's, Donna Lawson-Nichols. My husband is having some financial difficulties.
Oh, that's too bad.
Without telling him, I've arranged for the Waynesville galleries to put these miniatures up for sale. If Charles knew, he'd never let me part with them. We're in the contentment stage of the 4 seasons of love. I don't want us ever to know regret.
I see. And all I have to do is deliver this box.
Yes, to Mr. Lennon. Here's his card. When you leave, I'll phone and tell him to expect you.
Okay.
I don't want to sound silly, but you do have a gun, don't you? After all, you are delivering a small fortune.
Oh, sure. I have a gun. And I hit the bullseye with it every time. If the bull is looking down the barrel. Well, I'll get a receipt from Mr. Lennon and bring it over tonight.
Oh, not tonight.
Hmm?
Charles will be home. Tomorrow afternoon would be much better.
Well, all right.
There's really no need for my husband to know anything about us, is there?
Say, what's the matter with that guy? Nobody in the road for miles. He can't find room to pass. Well, come on, you dope pass, will you? Hey, what are you trying to do? Are you crazy? What's the matter with you? Hey, look out!
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, something wrong?
What?
I said, is something wrong, mister?
Oh, no. Everything's just peachy. Nothing like lying in a ditch with a car twisted around you, I always say.
Now you're joking.
Yeah. Come on. Help me out of here like a good fellow, will you?
Yeah, sure. Grab a hold.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, Jeez, what happened to you?
I don't know. A truck forced me off the road. After that, I don't remember anything.
Hey, nobody couldn't hardly see you from up in the road? It was a lucky thing I spotted you, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm still in one piece anyway. Hey, wait a minute. Where is it? Where's the box?
What's the matter? You lose something?
Yeah, I did. 4 little pictures. I don't see them around anyway.
Oh, I used to save them when I was a kid. Yeah, Grover Cleveland, Babe Ruth.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Hey, what is this?
What, do you find something?
I'll say. A neatly folded check in my pocket. Paid to the order of George Valentine. $20,000.
Hey, whoever hit you maybe wants you should buy yourself a new car.
Signed, Jason Rentschler, the Rentschler Galleries, in payment for the 4 Seasons of Love by Peter Paul Rubens. What? Hey, you going back to town, mister?
Yeah.
You got yourself a passenger. Somebody nudged me off the road and the miniatures are gone.
Gone? What do you mean? Now, here, George, hold still.
Yeah, that feels good. Well, I passed out and somebody made off with those things.
Maybe we should have x-rays made of your head. Sometimes things like this...
Brooksy, I'm a man of wealth. Look.
Wendy, what's the game?
I found this instead of the miniatures. Okay, Angel, thanks for the first aid.
George, where are you going?
If nothing else, my mother taught me good manners.
Makes sense, will you?
When somebody gives Mrs. Valentine's little boy $20,000, he should thank the man. I've got to have a little talk with Mr. Rentschler.
Going somewhere?
Well, as a matter of fact...
I'm Sergeant Crowley, robbery squad.
What?
You George Valentine, mister?
Beginning to wonder.
Where were you headed for? Mexico? Pango?
Hey, what are you talking about?
The little deal you pulled off this afternoon.
Deal? What deal?
Yes, Sergeant, take that again and slower this time.
Mrs. Nichols hired you to deliver some valuable miniatures, Valentine. Right?
Right.
And you were supposed to show up with them in Waynesville. Right?
Right.
Thank you, miss. But you didn't show. So Mrs. Nichols got worried and phoned us. Okay, where are those miniatures?
Well, I lost them.
Just like that.
Well, no, not quite, Sergeant. A truck forced my car into a ditch. When I came to, the darn things were gone.
Well, that's your story, and don't think we're not going to... You in the habit of leaving $20,000 checks on your desk?
Oh, dear.
Pay to the order of George Valentine. Rentschler Galleries. For the 4 Seasons of Love.
Oh, look, I know this sounds screwy, but I found this check in my pocket.
Of course. That keeps happening to people all the time.
You don't believe me?
I wonder why.
I was just going to see Mr. Rentschler.
That's nice. Let's make it real sociable, and we'll all go together.
What do you mean I sold you these miniatures, Mr. Rentschler?
But of course you did, young man, just a few hours ago.
I never saw you before in my life.
Mr. Rentschler, take a good look at him, please.
No, officer, what is this all about?
It's about a guy selling something that doesn't belong to him.
Oh, surely you are joking, Mr. Valentine. No, it doesn't look like the kind of man who would...
Never mind that. If he sold you these thingamajigs, where are they?
Right here. I wouldn't let them out of my sight here, you see.
Oh, wait a minute. This is crazy.
Are they not beautiful? Once before I have seen them in an exhibition, the Albert and Victoria Museum.
Well, Valentine?
I tell you, I was in my car driving to Waynesville.
You were on your way out of town, all right, but you had a crack-up and didn't think it was smart to go on. Lucky for the Nichols, I'd say.
No, please, officer. Now, young man, don't you remember? You told me you needed money, and then you made me such a bargain. Of course, I didn't hesitate.
I told you...
Maybe I was foolish not to check, Sergeant.
Okay, Mr. Rentschler, okay.
Sergeant Carlton?
Yeah?
I'm Charles Nichols. I got your call to meet you here.
Well, I've got your man and your miniatures, Mr. Nichols.
Now, look here.
Yes, you'd better look here, Sergeant, before you make a fool of yourself.
Now, my wife explained everything to me. She thought she was helping me over a rough financial spot, selling these beautiful things. It's so typical of Donna. She's devoted to me to a fault.
Oh, sure. Now, wait, Mr. Nichols. I was in my car delivering it when a truck came along.
You're in a rut, Valentine.
In a ditch, Sergeant.
Well, gentlemen, if these Rubenses belong to Mr. Nichols, I will be glad to give back to him and tear up my check.
Sergeant, as long as I have the miniatures back, I'm not a vindictive man.
Sure. Let's forget about the whole thing,
I'm not going to forget it.
You're not going to get the chance, Valentine. Until your trial comes up, you can kick it around in your mind in one of our nicest cells.
Cells?
I'll just take these, Mr. Rentschler, for evidence.
Of course.
And Mr. Nichols...
Yes, Sergeant?
We'll have to hold your miniatures downtown. But if you'll drop by later, the police custodian will give you a receipt for them. You can reclaim them after the trial.
Very well, Sergeant, as you say.
They'll be in good hands.
The police custodian's receipt is as good as gold to me.
Well, Valentine, coming?
Well, as long as you put it that way. No, it's not so bad, Brooksy. On Visitor's Day, you can bring me sweetmeats and magazines. You know, like Liberty, Outdoor Life.
George, how can you be funny at a time like this?
I force myself. Besides, it is funny that, like those miniatures, I'm so beautifully, beautifully framed.
In just a moment, we'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. I'll bet you'd be amazed if I told you that 4 out of 5 cars on the road today are being gradually chewed to pieces from the inside in a way their owners would never suspect. Well, it's true. If your car's like most cars, the manufacturer installed an oil filter to strain out the sludge and grit and keep them from going back into the engine. Oil filters don't require much attention, actually only once about every 6,000 miles. But unless you change your filter element every 6,000 miles, it becomes clogged and useless, much like a vacuum cleaner when the dust bag is jammed full. That's why it's a good idea to have your car saver check your oil filter element regularly. When you have your oil drained and changed at regular intervals, your car saver will also check the filter element. Then, if you need a new replacement, he can install a new Atlas Micronic filter. Now's the time to be getting your car ready for the winter weather driving ahead. So plan to stop in soon for an oil drain and oil filter service at any standard station or independent Chevron gas station where they say and mean we take better care of your car. The 4 seasons of love. 4 priceless miniatures that a girl you used to drool over in your college days asks you to deliver to an art gallery. A routine little job. But your car is forced off the road, the miniatures are stolen, and in your pocket is a check for $20,000 payable to you for the sale of the self-same Rubens masterpieces. What's more, Jason Rentschler, who signed the check, swears he gave it to you for value received. Even if your name is George Valentine, you need help.
Thanks for bailing me out, Johnson.
Yeah. To think I'd live to see the day.
The whole thing just doesn't make sense, Lieutenant.
Everything's right back where it started from. The Nichols have a police custodian's receipt for their miniatures, so they'll get them back after the trial. Rentschler will get his check back and tear it up.
Nothing gained, nothing lost, eh?
No, correction, please. George had his car smashed up, his classic features remodeled, and the hand of the law is still heavy on his shoulders.
Why was it necessary to frame me at all? Who stood to gain?
Valentine, you get involved and the word is crazy.
Please, Johnson, please. Not today. You can really be a pal and see what you can dig up on Charles Nichols. What he does, everything.
Okay.
Thanks. Come on, Brooksy.
See you later, Lieutenant.
I'm going to talk to Rentschler. Make him tell why he lied.
He's supposed to have a pretty good reputation.
Just the same, I didn't like the way he and Nichols looked at each other. With the clear, innocent eyes of a couple of used car salesmen.
Well, what do I do?
Well, Charles Nichols has an office in the Exchange building. You think you could sort of keep an eye on him for the rest of the day, see where he goes, what he does?
I'll stick so close to him I'll be able to hear him think.
Good.
Oh, Valentine.
A good Sergeant Crowley, you know it. Yes, Sergeant?
I just caught you in time. Somebody's on the phone for you.
Oh, thanks.
You can take it here.
All right. Let me do this one. Hello? Yeah? Oh, it's you. Well, why can't you tell me now? Oh, okay, I'll be right over.
Who was it, George?
Donna Nichols. Says she has something on her mind, and knowing her mind, I can expect almost anything.
Maybe this time she has a mural for you to deliver.
This time I have a few things to deliver myself. Brooksy, there's one little development I haven't told you about. When I was committed to this hoosegow, the sergeant at the desk went over my person with rough and impious hands. In short, he frisked me. My gun was missing.
George, you should have told Johnson.
If using my gun was part of the frame, I hate to think where the police might find it. I'd rather get to it first. See you later and we can compare notes. You're being very sweet, Mrs. Nichols.
Donna.
I'm sorry, I don't have time to be cute. The way everything stacks up, you should have me pegged for a guy who tried to swipe your precious miniatures and head for parts unknown.
Somehow, George, I can't make myself believe that.
Really? What is it? My open, boyish face?
Everything about you. I rather like you. Oh, haven't you noticed? Anyway, I spoke to Charles. When your trial comes up, we're merely going to say this was all a misunderstanding. We have no charges to make.
Now, that's darn white of you, Donna.
What's more, I just phoned Mr. Rentschler. He wants to see you. The galleries are closed, but he left the side door open for you. I think after you've talked to him, everything will be all straightened out. Well, aren't you going to thank me?
Oh, of course, sure. But, I was just thinking how.
You don't impress me as the thoughtful type, George. I should say action was more in your line.
You know, Donna, you can make an awful lot of trouble for some man. And I think I know the man. Now, I'd better get out of here and go see Rentschler.
George, wait a minute.
Oh, what's the matter? Did you lose Nichols?
No. I found something that might be important.
Go on.
Just a few minutes ago, I saw him going to the Continental Galleries. You know, that swank place where all the art collectors go to collect.
Well.
Does it mean anything?
Well, Nichols doesn't have the miniatures right now, but he has business at the Continental Galleries.
George, maybe?
We'll try to figure that out later. Come on, Rentschler's waiting. He left the side door open.
Oh, gosh. The galleries look eerie when it's dark.
That's strange. Hasn't got any lights on. Mr. Rentschler? Hey, where are you?
Oh, wait, George. I'll turn on one of these table lamps. Oh, that's better. Now
Easy, Brooksy.
Mr. Rentschler.
Wait a minute now. He's been shot, but he's still alive.
George, that's your gun.
Yeah. Brooksy, there's a phone booth on the corner. You're going to call an ambulance.
Yes.
Then you and I are going to beat it. I need some time to think.
If your guesses are wrong, George, the dawn's going to come up like thunder on somebody's very red face.
You talk to that newsboy first, then to Lieutenant Johnson, just as I told you.
All right, but
the miniatures could be phony. I have no time to check.
But if they are phony,
Then
George...
listen to this. The Nichols know that the miniatures are, at best, a reasonable facsimile. They couldn't sell them to any collector in a million years. So they dream up a little stunt requiring a patsy, me to be exact.
I still want to know why.
They make a deal with Rentschler and get me framed on the charge of grand theft. Then they've got a police custodian's receipt for something which all the newspapers say are the $50,000 Rubens masterpieces.
The papers had no reason to doubt that.
Brooksy, you just saw Nichols go into the Continental Galleries. Now, it's my childish guess he was trying to sell his police receipt.
Hey.
Of course, Continental can't get its pig in the poke until after my trial. But that's why Nichols would be willing to sell at a bargain price, say only $30,000. By the time anyone gets hep, the Nichols are in Tahiti, sipping coconut juice and chortling over a sucker named George Valentine.
It adds up, but Rentschler, he may be dead by now, and you're supposed to have killed him.
Yeah, that's how Nichols arranged the scene. Splitting the loot 2 ways instead of 3 is a much cozier arrangement.
George, are you sure your plan will work?
Brooksy, it better.
Oh, George, back so soon?
Well, sure. It only took me a few minutes to straighten everything out with Rentschler. Very nice old gentleman.
Yes, I suppose he is. You didn't have any trouble with him?
No, not a bit. And I have you to thank. You wanted me to thank you, didn't you?
Well, yes.
And I said I had to think how. The best way to thank you. And I have.
George.
You said I was a man of action.
Please, Oh.
You know, you can pack an awful lot of thanks into one kiss.
Can't you, though? Really, now, Charles may be here any minute.
Oh, yes. I must thank him, too.
About Rentschler. Just what did he have to say?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did all the talking. He was unusually quiet.
That can't be Charles. He'd use his key.
I'll get in. Well, Brooksy. Oh, Mrs. Nichols, you know my assistant, Miss Brooks.
No.
I knew I'd find you here, Mr. Valentine. Something terrible's happened to Mr. Rentschler. He was murdered.
No.
But I don't understand. How could he?
It's in all the papers. Wait, may I?
What are you doing at that window?
There's a boy selling papers right out there.
Read on about it. Art dealer found dead. Woman sought in death of art dealer. Get your paper.
See?
What else did the papers say?
No murder weapon was found, but the police are very much interested in a blue rhinestone button, obviously from a woman's dress. The button was found in the dead man's hand.
Poor Mr. Rentschler.
Isn't it perfectly fiendish?
I wouldn't like to be the woman who belongs to that button. Say, one would almost think that was a button off your dress, Donna.
My dress?
Blue rhinestone. And there's one missing on your sleeve. Why, isn't that a coincidence?
What are you two talking about?
I wonder what the police would think.
They can't think anything. I've been here all afternoon, and I can prove it.
Well, I believe you. But that's because I know you and trust you. But someone apparently wants the police to think you were there. Hence the button. Somebody's trying to frame you.
Wait a minute.
The button is missing.
Oh, he wouldn't. This is absurd.
What are you saying, Donna?
Nothing.
Donna, have you heard that newsboy? He says that...
Charles, we have visitors.
Oh, Valentine.
Hello.
Yes, and Miss Brooks had a chance to read the papers. Nichols, we were just saying that someone has apparently left a button from your wife's dress on the murder scene.
What's that?
Whoever it was would have been very close to Mrs. Nichols to get it.
There seems to be some logic in what Mr. Valentine says, Charles.
And never mind. We'll talk about that later, dear. Now, Mr. Valentine, if you and the young lady will excuse us, we have many...
Oh, sure, of course. But a philosophical observation just occurred to me.
Now, look,
I'd like to hear your philosophical observation, Mr. Valentine.
Just that cheaters have a tendency to cheat other cheaters. It's like the law of nature.
What are you talking about now?
Well, for instance, I was supposed to be nicely framed for the murder of Rentschler. My gun was supposed to have been left on the scene.
We don't know what this is all about.
But, Charles, how could he know?
Quiet, Donna, will you?
But instead of my gun, there was a button off your sleeve, Donna. Instead of me being framed, you were.
Neatly. Very neatly.
Charles,
Donna, I told you, be still.
With you charged with murder, Donna, he would keep every dollar he got for the miniatures. The 4 Seasons of Love. Ironic, isn't it, Donna?
Charles, I always suspected
Donna.
You can't shut me up. It has to be the way Valentine explained it. I was here all afternoon, wearing this dress. You were the only one who could...
I tell you?
No, you don't, Buster. Go on, sit down.
Take your hands off.
I just wanted to see if you had a gun.
You better sit down, Mr. Nichols, while you have the chance.
Charles, I'm not going to be framed by you or anybody. I only went for that police custodian gag, not for murder. You killed Rentschler and you're trying to pin it on me. Well, you're not going to get away with it.
Well, this is quite a gathering.
Welcome, Lieutenant Johnson. Your timing is superb.
I didn't want to interrupt. It was much too exciting.
All this business about a button, Lieutenant, is so much rot. And you're a fool, Donna.
You're quite right about the button, Nichols, because I have it right here.
How did you get that?
Oh, now, Donna, I'm so disappointed. I was sure you'd always remember that golden moment when I thanked you with my arms around you, with your arms around me. Well, that's when I borrowed that button.
But that story in the paper...
One newsboy yelling what was written out for him. Very fine yelling, too, I must say.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, you...
No, Donna. One good frame deserves another. That's another philosophical observation.
I'll never let you get out of here.
You need psychiatric treatment, friend. Something therapeutic like this.
I told you you'd better sit down, Mr. Nichols. Now, see? It's too late.
Here's more proof that heavy-duty RPM motor oil cuts wear in automobile engines. Using heavy-duty RPM, an engine in the Northwest went over 130,000 miles, yet showed less than half as much cylinder wear in that time as previous oils did in 75,000 miles. Heavy-duty RPM reduced wear and greatly increased the time between overhauls. It kept the engine exceptionally clean and cut wear rate to a minimum. So get the oil that gives top protection for your car. Get heavy-duty RPM motor oil at any independent Chevron gas station or standard station where they say and mean we take better care of your car.
You know, I was talking to the commissioner the other day. Said I, Chief, why bother having a homicide squad when one man like George Valentine...
Okay, Johnson, okay. So I was a sucker for a college memory. Forget it.
Rentschler will recover. The miniatures were phony, and the Nichols will suffer endurance vile.
Crime doesn't pay.
Oh, brother, when a police lieutenant comes up with an epigram, that's a sure sign the case is closed.
But, George...
Yeah?
Are you sure you didn't enjoy that kiss? After all, you didn't have to kiss her twice.
Brooksy, this suspicious nature of yours is going to make you a problem for the man you marry.
A problem?
Yeah. I bet if your husband came home at 4 o'clock in the morning, making a perfume and with lipstick on his collar, you'd start asking questions.
Why, I do no such thing.
Oh, what do you know? You wouldn't?
No. I'd add to his hat size with a rolling pin.
Spoken just like Mrs. Johnson. Take plenty of time to think up an epigram for that, Valentine. Good night.
Tonight's transcribed adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by David Victor and directed by Kenneth Webb. Ken Christie was heard as Lieutenant Johnson, Lee Patrick as Donna, Harry Bartell as Nichols, Larry Dobkin as Rentschler, and Joe Duvall as Crowley. Music by Gaylord Carter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It.
Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, a pretty good sting operation by George Valentine as he avoids playing the patsy in a pretty good, well-written story. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Some of the folks who have given to our listener support campaign include Frank, Thomas, and Lise. And Lise writes in, as always, it's a great show that I'm happy to support. Your fan, Lisa. And Thomas writes, great site, thanks for the entertainment. And Lisa also sends along this note. Don't apologize for the lengthy intro to listener support campaign. It was exactly the same amount of time as it took me to click the donate button, sign into PayPal, type in the donation amount, and wrap up the transaction. I hope you have a very successful campaign. I love having the extra episode on Saturday. Well, thanks so much, Lisa. Yeah, some of it goes back. I guess I'm somewhat sensitive about it, going back to the beginning of Dragnet and even of the first episode of the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. Because I understand folks want to, get into the program as quickly as possible. And sometimes my intros could go, 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 minutes. So I've tried to readjust and make it so that if we've got a lengthy interaction, that the bulk of it gets posted onto the post-show portion. But thanks so much for your comments, Lisa. And that will actually do it for today. We will be back with Sherlock Holmes tomorrow. Well, our listener support campaign continues, and you can support the show at support.greatdetectives.net. For all donations of $7 or more, we'll send access to our premium site. And at the $20 level, we'll send a free digital copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo, plus one additional bonus gift. Among those available at the $20 level is one of the Colonial Radio Theater's Perry Mason mysteries. These are told just as Earl Stanley Gardner wrote them. They're different from the Raymond Burr stories. These are set in the 1930s, a bit more hard-boiled and kind of the original intent of Gardner. Those are available at the $20 level, and of course at the $250 level, we will send you, if you're in the United States, the complete set of A Nero Wolfe Mystery, both seasons. Alright, well now we get into today's episode of Sherlock Holmes. After the 48-49 season, the Clippercraft run over Mutual of Sherlock Holmes ended, but the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes continued over ABC, with Ben Wright taking over the role of Sherlock Holmes. Longtime listeners will recall that during the Tom Conway era, he filled in for Conway 1 week. Also on ABC, Eric Snowden played Dr. Watson. Wright, of course, was a well-known character actor, but he did have a couple of starring roles, this being one of them, and this is a different characterization of Holmes. We only have one episode of this series. This is from March 22nd of 1950, and this one's called The Duke of Hollywell.
Petri Wine brings you the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes, based on the stories by the late Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and featuring Ben Wright as Sherlock Holmes and Eric Snowden as Dr. Watson. A true craftsman takes real pride in his product. And the Petri family takes great pride in the wine that bears the Petri name. Ever since the Petri business was founded, way back in the 1800s, it has always been owned and operated by the Petri family. That's why they've been able to hand on from father to son generations of skill and experience in the art of turning luscious, hand-picked grapes into delicious wine. The Petri family took time to bring you good wine. The personal pride of the Petri family is your assurance that every drop of Petri wine is good wine. If you take pride in serving the finest, look for the 5 letters that spell one of the proudest names in the long history of fine wine. Petri. Well, here it is Wednesday night again, and time to keep our weekly doctor's appointment. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Mr. Allen. Draw up your usual chair and settle yourself down. That's it.
Thank you. And now, Doctor, are you all ready with tonight's new Sherlock Holmes story?
Yes, my boy. It began, as so many of our adventures did, at our rooms at 221B Baker Street.
And I suppose it was a foggy November evening at the turn of the century.
No, Mr. Allen, it was a blazing hot day in August. Though your suggestion as to the period of the story is approximately correct. Holmes and I had just completed a late breakfast, I remember, when we heard the sharp sound of horses' hoofs approaching along the street outside.
I deduce a client.
Elementary, my dear boy, elementary. It was a client, and a very impressive one, too, as we were able to observe when our visitor stood before us. He was a distinguished-looking man of about 55, dressed in the height of sartorial elegance. I can almost hear him now as he said,
I'm in trouble, Mr. Holmes. Very serious trouble. Need your help. That's why I'm here.
Well, then sit down, won't you, sir? This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, Mr.
My name is, Smith.
Smith.
John Smith.
Oh, come, Your Grace. If you feel it necessary to call here using an alias, surely you can be a little more inventive than that.
Your Grace?
Aren't I correct, sir, in presuming you to be His Grace the Duke of Hollywell?
Quite correct. Oh, amazing. Quite extraordinary. I can't think how you knew it.
Well, it's really very simple, Your Grace. I observed your coach and pair as you arrived just now. The distinctive Hollywell monogram on the door of the coach was unmistakable. And when I see the same crest on your cufflinks and on the gold knob of your cane, and I recall the obsequious way your footman bowed you out of the coach, then it required no uncanny powers to deduce that I am being honored with a personal visit from the Duke himself.
Uncanny. Positively uncanny.
Well, Your Grace, now that we know your true identity, suppose you tell us your problem.
It's a bad business. Very bad business. If Her Grace ever found out about it, my goose would be cooked. The Duchess is violently jealous. Violently.
Well, supposing you state your case, sir.
Case? Oh, case, yes. Yes, it seems funny when you put it that way. Here's the thing in a nutshell. In a very, shall we say, confidential nutshell. I've been indiscreet, devilishly indiscreet with a certain actress in London. Somebody's found out about it, and they've been blackmailing me.
Have you any idea who that somebody is?
No, Holmes, but it's somebody who knows my movements, and I've been careful, devilishly careful. Haven't been near the theater, little supper parties after the show, a cold bird in a bottle, you know. Really quite innocent, but I'm afraid the Duchess would never see it that way.
And what form has this blackmail taken, Your Grace?
Notes, demanding money, and threatening to inform my wife if I don't pay. But here's the funny thing, Holmes. No matter how carefully I've chosen an unobtrusive restaurant for our meetings, these notes have been delivered to me by a waiter within half an hour after entering the restaurant.
You kept the notes, of course, sir?
Oh, good heavens, no, tore them up. Far too incriminating to have them on me, you know.
Oh, that's most unfortunate.
Yeah.
They very possibly have given a clue as to the identity of the sender. How many notes have you received?
Three. They've cost me over £5,000, and they're trying to beat me dry, that's what. And that's why I've come to you, Holmes. Oh, here, this envelope, it's for you.
And what does it contain, Your Grace?
£1,000 in banknotes. And they're yours if you can find the leeches who are after me.
Well, that's a very generous fee, but before I undertake the case, I'd like some more facts. Now, what is the name of this actress with whom you're involved?
Oh, good heavens, I couldn't tell you that.
Well, how can my friend help you if he doesn't know the facts?
Why, I couldn't mention a woman's name. Shocking bad form. Shocking. Only a beastly cad would do a thing like that.
So then, good morning, Your Grace.
Huh?
Permit me. Your cape,
No.
your cane, your gloves, and your £1,000. I'll see you to the door.
You mean you refuse the case?
I do, sir. Mystery at one end of my cases, I expect. But at both ends, no. Goodbye, Your Grace, and good luck.
Well, you're an odd fellow, Holmes. Very odd. I don't think I understand you, as a matter of fact. £1,000 is £1,000, you know.
Oh, yes, you certainly don't understand it. Good day, Your Grace.
Well, on my soul, Holmes, he may be the Duke of Hollywell or whatever it is, but I think he's one of the stupidest men I ever met.
He is rather odd, isn't he, old chap? Well, there goes £1,000 and the Duke of Hollywell. No doubt that is the last we shall hear of him.
And just how stupid was the Duke?
I beg your pardon, madam. You walk in here unannounced.
Yes, and it's very obvious you've been following our previous visitor.
I have, and I need to. Holly shouldn't be allowed out without a keeper.
Holly? You mean that...
I mean my husband, the Duke of Hollywell.
You were the Duchess?
Your sense of logic is inescapable, Mr. Holmes.
You've been following your husband, eh?
Obviously. I waited in a hansom down the street. As soon as I saw him leave, I came up here. Why did Holly come to you, Mr. Holmes?
I'm afraid that professional ethics prevents me from...
He came to you because he was being blackmailed, didn't he? Blackmailed because of his interest in a certain so-called actress at the Gaiety Theatre. Well, how much did he offer you? 1,000?
Oh, yes, as a matter of fact, he did.
I'll make it 2,000.
But this is most unusual. I don't think I quite understand your attitude, madam.
It's simple enough. I want this blackmailing to stop, and I want Holly to learn a lesson. He's terrified of my finding out, and that's just the way I want him to remain. Perhaps one good scare will make him a little more amenable in future. The silly old thing's got to realize that he's no longer the dashing Lochinvar he was in my days at the theatre. Well, Mr. Holmes, will you undertake the case?
Yes. Yes, I think I will. It's most intriguing. Your husband was remarkably gallant. He refused to give me the lady's name.
I've no such scruples. The woman is Florine Laverne. That's her stage name. She's really Amy Thomas from Brixton. She changed her name and the color of her hair when she left the chorus line at the Gaiety.
Oh, and in what show is she appearing now, Your Grace?
She's the soubrette in The French Maid at the Gaiety Theatre. And a very bad soubrette she is, too. She's singing one of my old numbers, and singing it atrociously.
And you think that she's behind this blackmail plot?
Oh, I don't think it, my dear man. I know it. I'm too familiar with the type. She smothered herself in diamonds at Holly's expense, and now she's trying blackmail. Why not go backstage at the matinee this afternoon and see her?
We will, Your Grace. We certainly will.
Good. And don't let those goo-goo eyes of hers fool you. Dr. Watson, you're looking at me very strangely.
You mentioned being in the theatre just now. You know, your face seemed awfully familiar as you came in. Weren't you...
I was Victoria Gladstone.
Of course. Oh, I've enjoyed seeing you many a time, Your Grace.
What was that famous number you sang?
The same one you'll hear Florine Laverne singing tonight. Waiting at the church.
Yes, that's the one. Now, how does it go again, Your Grace?
Well, I hardly expected to sing when I came in here, but I'll see what I can do. There was I, waiting at the church, waiting at the church, waiting at the church. When I found he left me in the lurch, my, how it did upset
I don't think she's nearly as good as the Duchess, Holmes.
Quiet, Watson. Let her finish.
I can't get away to marry you today. My wife won't let me.
Well, the audience seem to like her anyway, don't they?
She's a pretty little thing, isn't she? I must admit that, you know.
Yes. Standing here in the wings watching her, it's hard to believe she's a blackmailer. Here she comes now. Miss Laverne.
Oh, were you gentlemen waiting for me?
Yes, we were. We'd like a word with you, if you don't mind.
Please come to my dressing room. I don't think we've met before, have we? I'm generally so awfully good on faces.
No, we have not met. My name is Holmes, and this is my old friend, Dr. Watson.
Oh, how do you do? Well, here's my dressing room. Come in, won't you? Do sit down. That's it. Mr. Holmes, you're not Sherlock Holmes the detective, are you?
Yes, Miss Laverne, I am.
Well, isn't that exciting?
Oh, my friend's here on business, Miss Laverne.
But what could you possibly want with me?
I may as well be perfectly frank. You're a close friend of the Duke of Hollywell, aren't you?
I know him, yes. He's been very kind to me. He's sent me to singing teachers and, well, he's almost been like a father to me.
I see that I must be franker. Miss Laverne, the information that I have leads me to believe that your relationship with the Duke is very far from, paternal. However, I am not a moralist. The reason that I am here is that His Grace is being blackmailed.
Blackmailed? Over me?
Yes, Miss Laverne, over you. He's been receiving letters threatening to tell his wife unless money was paid.
But why didn't Holly tell me? Oh, the poor boy.
Perhaps the reason he didn't tell you, Miss Laverne, is that, unconsciously, he thinks you may be connected with this blackmailing.
Me? Oh, you're not serious, Mr. Holmes.
I am. You deny that you've received presents of valuable jewelry from the Duke?
No, but why shouldn't I? He admires me, and he's a wealthy man. It's quite customary for ladies in the theatre to receive presents from wealthy admirers, but blackmail. Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'm very angry with you. How could you even think such a thing of me?
Because, despite your rather ingenuous manner, you're obviously a very shrewd woman. You know that the Duke is not exactly a mental giant. He'd be one of the easiest men in England to hoodwink, and blackmail is a form of hoodwinking.
Get out of here, both of you. I'm not going to sit here any longer being insulted. Go on, get out! Get out!
Regular little tiger cat when she drops her mask, isn't she?
She is, old chap. We can move no further in this case until we get some concrete facts. And there's only one place we can get them.
You mean the Duke?
I do. We'll call on him at once.
Well, I'm glad you've changed your mind, Holmes. Very glad.
We've not only done that, Your Grace, we've actually done some preliminary investigation on the case.
Yes, we've just left Miss Laverne's dressing room.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear me. Well, how did you know it was her? I didn't tell you.
I have my methods, sir. And now, Your Grace, to business.
Business? Oh, yes, of course. Business, yes.
I need your cooperation. Now, the only clue you've given me is the fact that these blackmail notes have always been received within half an hour or so of your keeping a rendezvous with Miss Laverne.
But how on earth did you know that?
Well, you told us that yourself, Your Grace.
I did? Well, go on, Holmes, go on.
Have you made any rendezvous with Miss Laverne for tonight?
No. As a matter of fact, I thought I wouldn't see her anymore. The whole thing's upset me dreadfully. Dreadfully.
Yes, I applaud your decision, Your Grace, but I must ask you to see Miss Laverne once more. I have a plan. I want you to arrange a rendezvous with her after the show tonight.
Tonight? But tonight's Wednesday. Impossible to see her.
Oh, why, sir?
Well, Wednesday's chess night at the Guards Club. Haven't missed a chess night there in 24 years. Always play with the Earl of Sheppey. Always beat the old devil, too.
But then tonight, Your Grace, you must forgo your weekly triumph. I want you to take Miss Laverne to supper at Gatty's restaurant.
Oh, but no one ever goes to Gatty's on a Wednesday. Friday's the night there. The pheasant and the glass, you know.
I'm afraid I must insist, Your Grace.
Oh, very well. Gatty's on a Wednesday. Good heavens.
We shall be there too, of course, Holmes.
We shall, old chap. If the previous pattern of these notes is followed, there'll be another one received tonight, and you and I, my dear Watson, will be there to intercept it.
So you and Holmes went to the restaurant to intercept the blackmail note, eh, Dr. Watson?
Yes, Mr. Allen, it seemed like a simple way to solve the problem.
Yes, and there usually is a simple way to solve most any problem. For instance, you can solve the problem of how to make something special out of an ordinary meal by serving Petri California Burgundy. For example, a delicious dinner is hamburger served with Petri wine. And it's amazing how good beef stew can be when there's a glass of Petri Burgundy with it. Petri Burgundy is a marvelous, full-bodied red wine that was just made to go with the food we Americans like best. For a superb dinner, serve a nice, juicy steak with a glass of mellow, rich, red Petri Burgundy. It's out of this world. The only way to know how good Petri Burgundy is to try it. So serve Petri Burgundy the next time you're having meat or a meat dish. What about tomorrow night for dinner? Just be sure you get Petri Burgundy, because all Petri wines are good wines. Well, Dr. Watson, what happened when you and Sherlock Holmes waited at Gaddy's restaurant that night? Did Miss Laverne keep her rendezvous with the Duke?
She did, Mr. Allen. Shortly after midnight, she was ushered into a private room where the Duke was waiting.
Without seeing you and Mr. Holmes, of course.
Naturally, my boy.
And how long did you have to wait before another blackmail note arrived, Doctor?
Well, a note never did arrive on that occasion, Mr. Allen. Finally, about 1:15, Holmes scribbled a note himself and had it sent into the Duke. As we waited for His Grace to join us, Holmes turned to me with a look of quiet excitement and said,
Interesting case, isn't it, Watson?
I don't see that we have any case. Being no blackmail note, personally, I think we've made blooming fools of ourselves.
Oh, no. No, old chap, no. We're doing splendidly. The fact that no note has arrived is most encouraging. A very clear pattern begins to emerge.
Well, I'm hanged if I can see it. I'd say... Hello. Here comes the Duke.
Good evening, Your Grace. Or perhaps I should say, good morning.
Hello, Holmes. Evening, Doctor. Having a shocking supper party. Can't eat a thing, not a thing.
Oh, the young lady is somewhat distrait, huh?
Distrait. She's livid about what you said to her at the matinee, and she thinks I instigated that visit of yours. I'm having a dreadful time with her. Dreadful. Left her crying into the terrapin soup. It'll be ruined.
Well, the soup may be ruined, Your Grace, but you kept my confidence,
Confidence? Well, what confidence?
You didn't tell Miss Laverne that we organized this rendezvous tonight.
Oh, that? Oh, no, I didn't. No.
That's splendid. Now, Your Grace, tell me, when you paid these blackmail notes in the past, how was the transaction conducted?
I took the banknotes in a plain envelope and handed them to an old flower seller who sits just below the statue of Venus in Piccadilly.
Oh, at what time of day, sir?
12 noon. That was my instructions, but that's what they were in the note.
Oh, do you know the name of the flower seller?
Rosie, I think it was. Yes, Rosie, that's it.
Well, then tomorrow at noon, Your Grace, you will repeat the procedure.
I will? I mean, will I? I mean, why?
Well, Dr. Watson and I will be mingled in the usual crowd in Piccadilly Circus at that time of the day. And we shall be watching, Your Grace. We shall be watching closely. You pay no attention to us and walk up into the crowd as soon as you've handed over the missive. I shall be curious to see what Rosie does with that money. Devilishly curious.
That must be Rosie, the blousy old girl with the basket sitting on the steps.
Since she's the only flower seller in sight, old chap, I can hardly regard your deduction as totally amazing.
Well, really,
Here comes the Duke of Hollywell.
Yes. He's stopping. He's handing an envelope to Rosie.
Yes. Now he's walking away. And he's not looking round to see that we're in view. Bravo, Your Grace. The grey matter is positively seething this morning.
Look, Holmes. Rosie's putting a shawl over her head.
Yes, and she's packing up her basket. That's excellent. You keep your eyes skinned, old chap, and don't let her get away from us in this crowd. We've got to keep her in sight.
She went into the bank.
Yes, Watson. I'm observing her through this window. Well, she's filling in a form. Now she's handing it to the cashier.
Oh, that's peculiar. I hardly think...
She's coming out now.
Let's grab her.
No, Watson. She's obviously only an intermediary. In any case, she has no reason to be suspicious, and I'm quite sure that we can find her later if we need to at the flower stand.
There she goes.
Yes, come on, old chap. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
That old lady that just made a deposit at your window, in whose name was the deposit made?
I'm sorry, sir, but the bank can't give out private information like that.
Well, my friend is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the detective.
Sherlock Holmes? Oh, well, that's different.
Well, then you don't mind telling me into whose account that money was paid?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. It was paid into the account of the Duke of Hollywell.
If you've never tasted Petri California port, you're missing a wonderful taste treat. Why not give yourself that treat and tomorrow night after dinner, enjoy a glass of Petri port? Then you'll really appreciate how delicious Petri port is. Its wonderful, sweet, fruity taste makes Petri port the perfect after-dinner drink. That smooth, mellow, sweet flavor reflects the skill of generations of fine winemaking experience. One taste of Petri California port is definite proof that Petri took time to bring you good wine. If you're having guests, you'll find Petri port is the ideal wine to serve. And you can serve it proudly, because those 5 letters, P-E-T-R-I, spell one of the proudest names in the long history of fine wines. Well, Dr. Watson, as soon as you discovered that the Duke was apparently blackmailing himself, I suppose you and Mr. Holmes dashed off to see him.
That was my instinct at the time, Mr. Allen, but to my surprise, my old friend insisted that we call on the Duchess instead. I must say, my boy, I was utterly flabbergasted when he turned to her and said,
"Why did you do it, Your Grace?
Do it? Do what, Mr. Holmes?
Why have you been blackmailing your own husband?"
"Why has he been what? I don't understand."
The Duchess does, don't you, Your Grace?
Yes. I understand that you've discovered my little plot. I was quite intrigued to see whether you would. You're a very clever man, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Your Grace. And now I repeat my question. Why have you been blackmailing your husband?
To teach Holly a lesson. It was high time he got thoroughly frightened. He's too old and too gullible to continue his gallivantings. And so I approached him through one of his most vulnerable spots, his pocketbook.
Oh, sorry, but I simply don't understand this.
It's very simple, Watson. The Duchess wrote the blackmail notes. Her husband paid them to Rosie. Why Rosie, by the way, Your Grace?
Oh, Rosie's an old dresser of mine. She'd do anything for me.
I see. And then Rosie paid the money back into your husband's account, huh? A new account, I imagine.
Yes, I opened it recently. Holly wouldn't have known about it until he was over this infatuation and had learned his lesson.
But, Your Grace, if you were behind this plan, why did you come to Sherlock Holmes?
I didn't. I followed Holly. And then I thought it might be rather good for his ego to have the great Sherlock Holmes working for him. And also, quite frankly, I was curious to see whether I'd be caught. How did you catch me, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, it was a question of pattern, Your Grace. Every one of the original blackmail notes was received when the Duke was on his regular schedule. Now, the moment I altered that schedule by arranging last night's meeting at Gatti's, no note was received. Well, it was then obvious to me that the blackmailer was someone who knew the Duke's habits intimately.
And Holly is a man of habit. Friday is the night for Gatti's, Monday the Savoy, Saturday is Claridge's. It's just the way he courted me. And Wednesday is invariably...
Chefs with the Earl of Sheppey at the Guards Club. Quite so, Your Grace.
Oh, I begin to see it. But why did you point our suspicion toward Miss Laverne?
In the hopes of misleading you both, and in the very sincere hope of frightening her to death. I'm really quite fond of Holly, you know. He's a silly old man, but I do love him.
Well, it may interest you to know, Your Grace, that he's already decided to see no more of Miss Laverne.
I'm delighted to hear it. Well, you shall get the 2,000. I promised it.
Well, I've decided to lower my fee.
Well, personally, after all, I don't think you should take a fee at all, Holmes.
Oh, rubbish. I've earned it, and I demand it.
Well, what is it to be then, Mr. Holmes?
Well, the Laverne girl really sang your number abominably. I wonder if you'd sing it again for us, Your Grace.
By George, yes. Will you, Your Grace?
Very well. That's a modest fee. Let's make it a trio, shall we? Come on.
There was I, waiting at the church, waiting at the church, waiting at the church, when I found he left me in the lurch. My, how did upset me.
You can make any occasion a really special occasion when you serve Signature, the wine that bears the distinguished signature of Angelo Petri. You discover in Signature the true aristocrat of California wine. You can serve Signature with pride, because Signature is indeed the crowning achievement of a great California vintner, Angelo Petri. Tonight's adventure of Sherlock Holmes was written by Dennis Green and presented by special permission of the estate of the late Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Music was composed and played by Dean Faulkner. This is Herb Allen speaking for the Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Welcome back. Well, this is a different take on Sherlock Holmes. For one thing, Ben Wright was not trying to sound like Basil Rathbone. This is, of course, noteworthy because I think you could say that every single actor after Rathbone. Both Tom Conway and John Stanley for 3 seasons really had that Rathbone-esque sound going on. Here, Ben Wright is more of a relaxed role, and definitely, I think, pretty likable and warm as Sherlock Holmes. So definite departure from John Stanley. Of course, not sounding like, or trying to sound like Basil Rathbone may have been what doomed the series. Second season over Mutual had a 6.5 Hooper rating. This one had a rating about half that, so into the 3s. And so this would be the very last season of the New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The few years off since its premiere in 1930 was then canceled. I really would like to hear more of this Ben Wright series. This episode's somewhat atypical. It's from the 27th of 39 episodes, and probably a little lighter in tone than a typical episode. But this would not be the end of Sherlock Holmes in the United States. Tower of London would produce in England would produce a syndicated program which would come to the U.S. over the NBC network. And we will bring you that one as our last Sherlock Holmes series, so be sure and join us next week for that. All right, now to listener comments and feedback. Valerie says, I love your podcast and I love your commentaries. I listen every day. Thank you so much. Well, thanks, Valerie. That will do it for today. Join us tomorrow for yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And next Thursday, another new Sherlock Holmes. Well, our listener support campaign continues, and I want to thank everyone who has contributed so far. Among those who have sent in donations include Joel, Michael, John, Brian, and William. Thanks so much for your support, and we'll be sending along appropriate thank you gifts. Among some of the items requested, we had from the $20 level a Perry Mason mystery from Colonial Radio Theater. And these are great, based on the original novels. And also, at the $50 level, we have your choice of any of the Poirot stories that have been adapted by BBC Radio 4. And we will send you those digital downloads at those donation levels. All right, well, now it's time to get into today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the Carboniferous Dolomite matter. I listened to the show where Johnny announces the title to make sure that I could pronounce it. I warn you, the quality is not great. This file's been cleaned up quite a bit, but just be advised they may have a few quirks in the audio. Enjoy.
John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Bill Wesley, Johnny. What do you know about oil wells?
Well, I know I wouldn't mind owning one. Why?
We've written a floater policy on drilling rigs for the Van Oosterhout Oil Company in Sumatra. $60,000 worth of equipment was destroyed last week en route to their new test field.
There's something wrong with this?
We're willing to pay off.
Well, so why call me?
Now, that's a twist, Johnny. Van Oosterhout doesn't want the money.
Well, what does he want?
Our best investigator for 3 weeks.
Why?
He didn't say. You know these oil men, probably just rich enough to want to satisfy some idle curiosity.
Yeah, well, I'm just broke enough to help him do it.
We'll return to our program in a moment. But first, I'd like to talk to you about housekeeping. Recently, a woman was interviewing a prospective maid and asked her how she was on light housekeeping. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, said the young lady. I never kept a lighthouse. I admit that's an old joke, but it generally gets a laugh. However, housekeeping is no joke. That's a job from which no one can escape, whether he lives in a house, an igloo, a military barracks, or a governmental building. Yes, housekeeping is a very important job, even in our government. Someone has to see that the plumbing doesn't leak, that electricity, oil, and coal aren't wasted, that the garden is kept in good shape, that the animals are fed, and that the people have a place outdoors in which to enjoy themselves. Actually, all these governmental household tasks are the work of the Department of the Interior, which at one time was called the Home Department. The biggest job of the department is conservation, the protection of the things that make our country a good place in which to live. The land, water, oil, coal, forests, minerals, fish, and wildlife. These are our natural resources. If it weren't for the conservation work of the Interior Department, before too long, all the farm and grazing lands would be washed or blown away, and all the wildlife would disappear from our fields and forests. Another important job of the department is the development of new natural resources and the caring for our national parks where people are free to go sightseeing or set up camp. And during wartime, the Secretary of the Interior has a special job, namely, making sure that sufficient oil and other fuels are available to our armed forces and defense industries. Yes, our governmental housekeeper, the Department of the Interior, has a most important and vital job in maintaining the comfort and welfare of every citizen of the United States.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Eastern Indemnity and Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Carboniferous Dolomite matter. Expense account item 1, $1,013.40. Airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Medan, Sumatra. Expense account item 2, $1.50, cab fare to the offices of the Van Oosterhout Oil Company. The roughly timbered shack with corrugated tin roof didn't spell rich oil man to me, nor did Peter Van Oosterhout himself.
No doubt you are wondering why I proposed such a strange agreement with your company, Mine Dollar.
Well, that question had occurred to me, yes.
So, I will explain that. It's not because I am a rich man, but because I am a gambler.
You're gambling $60,000 against what?
An oil well, Mine Dollar. And I need your help to keep the game honest.
Well, what kind of a game do you want to deal me in?
My rigging equipment was being transported by truck to my test well north of Achin. It was buried beyond recovery by a landslide, one which I believe was caused by a deliberate nitroglycerin explosion.
The game sounds rough.
It is not the first thing that has happened. Drill heads have been dropped into the bore, drilling shafts sawed and then welded so they would snap under pressure. The list is endless.
And you think your operations are being deliberately fouled up?
There is not the slightest doubt in my mind.
Any idea why?
No, Mine Dollar, I have not.
What about the local authorities? Have you talked to them?
I have. They have sent a man to the well to investigate.
Well, then why send for me?
Because I suspect the government man is also working against me.
I see. You said you wanted me here for 3 weeks. Why the time limitation?
My drilling permit from the government expires then. They do not renew.
So you're willing to bet $60,000 on my ability to keep your well going for 3 weeks, hoping you'll strike oil in that time?
I am. Will you work with me, Mine Dollar?
Why not? It's your gamble. We made arrangements to fly out to the oil well early the next morning, and Van Oosterhout dropped me off at the Buitenzorg Hotel, where I checked in. I put a call through to the government offices, but the man in charge of the Van Oosterhout matter, an Inspector Pajak, wasn't in. I left word that I'd called and hide myself to the hotel restaurant. I was having a little trouble with the native menu when I received some unexpected assistance.
You would forgive me, Mr. Dollar. Might I suggest you try the sample going?
I'd be happy to. What is it?
The known ingredients are rice, fish, and peppers. The unknown are the chef's secrets, and the sum total of them all is sheer gastronomical ecstasy.
Well, the only thing that could top that recommendation is for you to join me.
I would be delighted. But not to dine, Mr. Dollar, merely to talk. By the way, I am Frederica von Osterhut.
Peter's wife?
His daughter.
Oh, I would have guessed that, except for the third finger left hand.
Oh, of course, my wedding band. Yes, I am Mrs. John Reynolds now, but I wish to talk with you as Frederica von Osterhut.
Oh, why is that?
Because I want you to persuade my father to change his mind and accept the insurance money.
You don't approve of his gamble?
There is no gamble, Mr. Dollar. He's bound to lose everything. There's no oil there.
What makes you so sure?
My husband is an oil engineer. He has gone over my father's leases in every possible way. Geological survey, magnetometer, seismographic exploration. In every instance, the results have been negative.
And what does your father base his opinion on?
Wishes, hunches, gambles, Mr. Dollar. He is like a madman about this thing. All reason, all logic has been tossed to the wind.
Well, then why is somebody trying to sabotage the well?
There are always accidents attendant on any oil drilling project, Mr. Dollar. My father's has been brought about perhaps by the old equipment he's using. But they are accidents, nevertheless. There's not one shred of proof of anything else.
You make out a pretty strong case for yourself.
Then you will do as I ask. Try to persuade him.
No, I'm afraid not.
But you just said.
Your father's got a stronger case.
Yes, of course. The $60,000 your company will save if he relinquishes his claim.
Well, can you think of a better one?
To me, a man's life is worth more than $60,000.
Oh, you've lost me.
My father has a weak heart.
Oh.
If I am right and the well proves dry, I'm afraid the shock will kill him.
And what if he's right?
Accidents can happen to more than machinery. A life could still be lost.
Like mine, maybe?
That was your thought, Mr. Dollar.
Not a very happy one, was it? Just for the record, I did take Frederica's advice on one thing, the sambal garang. And she was right about that, at least. It was delicious. With the arrangements to leave for the oil field at dawn well in mind, I hit the sack early, hoping to get a good night's sleep. But somebody had different ideas.
Mr. Dollar, are you in there, Mr. Dollar?
What? Who's that?
Inspector Paljart, Mr. Dollar. Open up, please.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Now, what's all this about, Inspector?
I'm sorry to disturb your rest this way, Mr. Dollar. It was necessary, however, that I ask you a few questions.
At 2 a.m?
You possess a firearm, Mr. Dollar?
Well, you should know. I registered it when I came into the country.
May I see it, please?
Yeah, sure. Here it is.
Thank you.
Satisfied?
That the magazine is full, that the gun is clean, I am satisfied of that, yes.
Well, that's something. Now, suppose you tell me what this is all about.
You paid a visit to the offices of Peter Van Oosterhout earlier this evening, Mr. Dollar.
That's right.
You also called my office to inquire about the Van Oosterhout Oil Company and the test well that is being drilled north of Achin.
Yeah. What was the caliber of the gun that killed Van Oosterhout, Inspector?
We believe it to be a .38 caliber, Mr. Dollar. The same as yours. But how did you know he was dead?
Well, out of respect to those present, let's call it intuition, shall we? Inspector Pajak maintained a discreet, if not very informative, silence during our ride out to the Van Oosterhout Oil Company shack. We elbowed our way through a babbling crowd of curious onlookers held back by Indonesian police and moved inside.
You see, Mr. Dollar?
Yeah. Any idea of when it happened?
I thought perhaps you could give us that information.
How did I become number one on your suspect list?
It was Mrs. Reynolds' idea.
Frederica?
Yes. When informed of her father's death, she said that you were responsible. That you were the one who had killed him.
Well, it's just possible, Inspector, that she didn't mean that literally. But only because Van Oosterhout wanted me down here to check into possible sabotage.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to accept your reasoning for the time being.
That's mighty nice of you.
Mr. Dollar, I would like to know if there is anything disturbed in the office. Anything different from the way you saw it now.
Well, only those metal canisters on the floor over there.
We know about those. They contain test borings taken from the Van Oosterhout well. They were flown in this evening by Mr. Don Reynolds.
Van Oosterhout's son-in-law?
Yes. He brought them here to the office. That is how he discovered the body.
Must have been pretty important for him to fly him in at this hour of the night.
According to Mr. Reynolds, they indicate that the well is almost certain to prove dry.
Well, where is Reynolds now?
He's with his wife, of course. He had broken down completely at the news of her father's death.
Mm-hmm.
So, that will be all then for now, Mr. Dollar. I regret you have had your long journey to Sumatra for nothing. What makes you think so? Those test borings prove that Van Oosterhout was possessed of a delusion. With his death, any reason for pursuing it is obviously over.
Well, there's something else that's not quite as obvious, Inspector.
And what is that?
Why he was murdered. One of Inspector Pajok's men drove me back to the Buitenzorg Hotel, where the night clerk put an end to any hopes I had for more sleep that night. He had a message for me to call Don Reynolds the minute I got in. I put in the call.
Hello?
This is Johnny Dollar.
Oh, yes, Dollar. Glad you called. Can I be at your hotel for a little while?
Well, that depends.
On what?
On what you want to come over here to talk to me about.
Suppose it's to tell you who killed Von Oosterhout. Why?
I'll be here.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
It took Don Reynolds exactly 7 minutes by the clock to get up to my hotel room after his phone call. He wasted as little time getting directly to the point.
I'm pretty sure I know who killed Von Oosterhout, Dollar. And why? But it's going to take a lot of doing to prove it.
Well, why come to me instead of Inspector Pajok?
Well, I'm not interested in having an official whitewash of murder.
Doesn't sound as though you have a very high opinion of our friend, the inspector.
Let's just say I don't want to take any chances on possible official collusion.
Mm-hmm. Well, what have you got?
Ever hear of Sungat Tabaran?
No. Should I have?
He's a wildcatter like Von Oosterhout was. 2 years ago, they tangled over some oil leaks. When the courts decided in Von Oosterhout's favor, Tabaran swore he'd been cheated, that he'd get even.
Well, if he meant it, he waited a long time to make good.
He went to job on business about that, came back here just about the time Von Oosterhout began to suspect someone was trying sabotage as well.
That's pretty circumstantial, Mr. Reynolds.
There's nothing circumstantial about the fact that Tabaran, the oil expert Inspector Pajok, sent out to the well to check on Von Oosterhout.
So that's the reason for your official collusion crack.
Yes, it is. And there's nothing circumstantial about the fight the two of them had a couple of days ago when Von Oosterhout openly accused Tabaran and told him you were coming out to check up on things.
Oh. Sounds interesting.
I can top it for you, Dollar.
With what?
Tabaran's here in Medan. Flew in from the well late yesterday afternoon. I'd say he arrived approximately 2 hours before Von Oosterhout was killed. What do you think now?
I'd pay to have a little talk with him.
At this point in our program, I'd like to give you something to think about. Probably one of the most quoted Americans in our nation's history is Benjamin Franklin. It was Franklin who said, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." And never leave that till tomorrow, which you can do today. And, of course, the Lord helps them that help themselves. But probably one of his most familiar quotations is, "There are only two things in life of which we may be certain, death and taxes." Of course, what bothers most of our taxpayers is that death and taxes don't come in that order. But seriously, one of the biggest jobs handled by the Secretary of the Treasury is the collection of taxes, our government's main source of income. The government raises money through the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which collects income taxes, excise taxes, amusement taxes, and other federal taxes. The Bureau also checks to see that you haven't paid too little, and, believe it or not, that you haven't paid too much. Another way the government raises money is through the Bureau of Customs, which levies taxes on imports which are sent here from foreign countries. But although the Treasury Department collects the money, it is Congress, the men we send to Washington, who actually says who will pay taxes and how much. And that's one thing from which none of us can escape.
Expense account item 3, $1.65. Cab fare to the residence of Sungat Tabaran. It was a small modern bungalow nestled in some gently rolling hills at the edge of town. The false dawn was just starting to light up the eastern sky when I got there. Are you Sunga Tabaran? Correct. My name is Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator. I'd like to talk.
This is hardly the hour at which one makes either social or business calls, Mr. Dollar.
Well, murder isn't very particular about the hours. Thanks. I notice you're up and dressed, Mr. Tabaran, in spite of the early hour.
You said you had come here to speak about murder, Mr. Dollar.
I understand that you and Van Oosterhout had some pretty violent disagreements in the past.
Unfortunately, that happens to be true.
Does Inspector Projak know about that?
I have no secrets from my superior.
Does he also know that you flew into Medan yesterday afternoon?
My dear Mr. Dollar, you realize as well as I that these questions are quite pointless. Even if I did possess guilty knowledge concerning Van Oosterhout's death, you could not hope to learn it this way.
Well, maybe I'm just a break.
I'm afraid it's not except that.
Thank you.
No, you came here to talk with me, to look around, like some measure, hoping perhaps I would make some slip, unconsciously reveal some information which might be useful to you.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable supposition.
It is regrettable, then, that I must disappoint you. There will be no slip, no unconscious revelation. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Tabaran. You haven't hurt my feelings. Oh, by the way, extend my condolences to Frederica, will you? And tell her I'm glad she's getting over her bereavement so well.
I'm afraid I do not know to what you're referring, Mr. Dollar. Certainly about Mrs. Brent.
You didn't have to. You just forgot to remove her handbag from that table. The question of what Frederica was doing in Sunga Tabaran's bungalow at that hour of the morning was an interesting one. But there were a few others bothering me even more. Expense account item 4, 75 cents. Precarious transportation aboard a bicycle rickshaw to the deserted offices of Van Oosterhout Oil Company. Expense account item 5, $1, similar transportation back to my hotel, where a visitor was waiting for me in the otherwise empty lot.
1 moment, please, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, hi, Inspector. Something on your mind?
I wish you to stop interfering in affairs which are no concern of yours, but only of the police.
Well, it didn't take Tabaran long to call you after I left.
Assume that Tabaran is one of my most trusted men.
Looks like Frederica Reynolds feels the same way about it.
Mr. Dollar, you are in a strange country. One whose habits, customs, ways of life are entirely foreign. It would be most easy to fall into error concerning the guilt or innocence of some of its inhabitants.
Well, I'd agree with you, except for one thing, Inspector. So, they're still people. Tepid shower and a similar breakfast occupied my time until the town of Medan awoke to the new day. Then I walked down the street to the shop I'd noticed the night before, belonging to one Herr de Groot, oil geologist. It took the Groot all of 30 seconds to look at the specimens I'd pilfered from Van Oosterhout's office the night before, rub them between his fingers, and come up with a pronouncement.
There's no question. These test boring staff from the Van Oosterhout number 1 well.
And you've seen specimens like these before?
But of course I have, young man, many times. They are composed of increasing density of a carbonate of calcium and magnesium, formed during the Carboniferous era of the Earth. In other words, what we have here are specimens of Carboniferous Dolomite.
I'll take your word for that. Just tell me what it has to do with oil.
Well, it has everything to do with, young man. Under just such rock strata as these lie some of the greatest oil fields in the world.
So the chances of the Van Oosterhout well hitting such a pool should be pretty good, huh?
I would say it would be virtually impossible for it not to hit oil from 100 to 500 feet in depth below the strata.
Any idea why Van Oosterhout wasn't informed of this?
Not informed, but it must have been.
Why is that?
Well, these test borings have been brought in regularly by Van Oosterhout's son-in-law, Manuel Else. Why should he not have told him?
The Groot added another good question to my list. So I called Reynolds to find out. There wasn't any answer. I got the same result that called to Sunga Tabaran. But I had better luck with the dispatcher's office at the airport.
That is quite right, Mr. Dollar.
Mr. Taban filed a flight plan for the Van Osterhout well and took off approximately an hour ago.
What about passengers?
Oh, one passenger is listed. Mrs. Frederica Reynolds.
No, Mr.
Oh, he took off for the well property also, Mr. Dollar, in a company plane. He was given runway clearance not 5 minutes ago.
One more thing. Do you happen to know what time Reynolds came in last night?
Well, which of Mr. Reynolds' flights do you mean, Mr. Dollar?
There was more than one?
Oh, yes, two. First time he arrived here shortly after dark. I can look up the exact time for you if you wish.
No, that won't be necessary.
Well, granting your information is correct, Mr. Dollar, what is it you wish me to do about it?
Now, look, Inspector. It's about time you stop being coy. You must have some or all of this information.
And if I have?
Then you know it adds up to one murder and maybe two more.
I do not understand.
Reynolds knew from those secret test borings that Van Oosterhout was going to hit oil.
That would seem most logical, yes.
So if he could stop the well for 3 more weeks, the drilling permit would run out. Van Oosterhout would be through, and Reynolds could file for one of his own and bring in the well himself.
Then you are accusing Mr. Reynolds of deliberately withholding information from his father-in-law, of sabotaging his drilling operation.
And of killing Van Oosterhout.
But why should he have done that?
Well, somehow the old man must have learned the truth from those test borings we found in the office.
What you say is true, Mr. Dollar. We shall secure the proof we need in good time.
Why did Tabaran and Frederica leave for the well?
The death of her father brought some suspicions to Mrs. Reynolds' mind. She went to discuss them with Tabaran. Perhaps there is some proof out there at the well, and they intend to bring it back.
Reynolds took off for the well 10 minutes ago, Inspector. What happens if there's another accident, and Frederica and Tabaran never get back?
A plane will be ready at the airport by the time we get there, Mr. Dollar.
The Van Oosterhout well was approximately 100 miles northwest of the dam. When we set down, both the company plane and Tabaran's were on the landing strip. The drilling rig was motionless, surrounded by high mounds of pumped-out mud. The entire area looked deserted.
It is impossible they could not have heard us arrive. Where is the rigging crew? Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds and Tabaran.
Well, there are not many places there could be. Bunkhouse, construction shack, powder house.
But perhaps we had better try the office. You know, it is quite possible that...
Hey, there's Reynolds. Coming out of the powder house. He's got a nitro tube in his hand.
Nitro? But what would he be doing with nitroglycerin?
Maybe we better find out. Reynolds!
Oh, hi there, Dollar. Quick project? Yeah, just in time to do fireworks.
Are you going to shoot the well?
Yeah, that's right. Drill struck a layer of igneous granite, broke off from the shaft. I'll drop this down and try to blast it loose.
Well, where's the rigging crew?
Back in the jungle. Gotta get them out of the possible blast area. Never can tell about these things.
What about Mrs. Reynolds and Tabaran?
Oh, they went along with them. Two of you better get back here, too.
Oh, this mud sample will protect us.
Well, maybe so, but sometimes these things pack an awful wallop.
This one's not going to, Reynolds.
What do you mean?
Put down that nitro and come over here with your hands up.
Are you crazy, Dollar? I'm going to blow that well.
Mr. Dollar, why have you drawn your gun?
You make a break for that well, Reynolds, and I'll shoot.
Better do something about him, Inspector. He must have lost his mind.
Put away that gun, Dollar.
I'm telling you for the last time. Put the nitro down and come over here.
Okay, Dollar. I can't figure it. You think I'm going to...
He's running towards the well. Don't try it, Reynolds.
It's too late now, Dollar. I'm blasting that well.
Back in the mud, Inspector. Get back.
What are you going to do? Dollar, your shot, it exploded the nitro.
Yeah. I guess it did at that, Inspector.
But Reynolds, it was the same as committing murder.
Well, let's say I prevented a couple, Inspector.
Prevented?
If Reynolds had blown the well with that charge, it would have destroyed the rigging. And that tool shack under it.
And what if it had? Neither Mrs. Reynolds nor Tabaran is anywhere around.
You better take a look at the door sill of that shack.
The door sill of the... Mrs. Dollar.
Yeah. That blonde head lying inside there isn't Carboniferous Dolomite. Expense account item 6, $23.15, hotel bill and miscellaneous. Expense account item 7, $1,032.60, airfare and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $2,074.05. Remarks. The trip home didn't seem half as long as the walk we made to the tool shack to see if Frederica and Tabaran were still alive. As it turned out, they were. If they hadn't been, well, I guess I just wasn't cut out to be a gambling man. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Welcome back. Well, this has the feel of a recording that was broadcast in the 1950s, later, like in the 1960s, because these things survived on transcription. Just because the format of the commercials is seems so different from that we've heard on other yours truly Johnny Dollar programs. And this one sounds more like a repeat. I have to admit, when I heard the police inspector, I immediately thought Sam Sabaya. Now, I know that Jay Novello was, of course, a very versatile actor, played a lot of character roles. But when he's playing a foreign high-ranking police officer, I just think Sam Sabaya. By the way, I should note that we are getting to the end of the John Lund of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. We have a grand total of 3 more episodes these next 3 weeks, and then we have a Gerald Moore episode, and then at last we will be into the Bob Bailey serial era that so many people have been looking forward to. I do have some reason to believe that we will, after this run is concluded, be able to bring some lost John Lund episodes. As the Bailey run's going to take a while, I'll probably do something different with those. But we'll be done with the Lund episodes for now in about 3 more weeks. All right, well, now to listener comments and feedback. Brian, who sent a donation, says, I want to thank you again for your podcast. I got my first iPod at about the same time you started the Dragnet podcast many years ago and became one of your first listeners. I added your other podcasts when they became available. It's remarkable that you've kept at it for so long, and even remarkable that, as far as I can remember, you've never missed a day or even been late uploading an episode. It's my pleasure to continue to support your podcast. Please look it up. Keep it up. I also look forward to the start of your new podcast later this year. Happy to help in any way I can. Well, thanks so much, Brian. We've had a few lates, particularly on the Superman podcast. No one seems to notice when those are late. But I'm definitely very focused on everything in life, not being late, being on time, being as quick as possible, which can, in the words of Monk, be a gift and a curse. as those who know me will attest. But I definitely thank him. Thanks for the mention of the upcoming podcast. I'm going to probably really start working on that in earnest in May. And I haven't mentioned it much, but if you've got, if you have World War II programs, we're looking for stuff that's directly going to be relevant to the war, the buildup of the war. We're going to start November 11th. This is going to be, I think, it's going to be a very educational podcast. We're going to start November 11th and run for about 9 months through August as we observe what's various anniversaries and periods in the war. And if you have programs you'd like to suggest, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a line, box13@greatdetectives.net. Well, we reached the end of the second week of our listener support campaign. To participate in this year's campaign, we need to hear from you by March 16th. During the listener support campaign, in addition to sending you access to our premium site, which we always do throughout the year for all donations of $7 or more, at the $20 level, we will send you an additional thank you gift plus a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo. Among some of the gifts offered at the $50 level, we have a Radio Archives gift certificate that will allow you to purchase one of their small 6 or 7 hour radio sets as a download. These are high fidelity, high quality audio, and just a really nice treat. And again, that is at the $50 level. At the $100 level, we have a copy of the audiobook of Tales of the Dim Night. We had Scott Wilcox read that. He just did a fantastic job and, tried to give the characters different voices. And it's just a wonderful listen and is available at the $100 level. And you can read about all the different options at support.greatdetectives.net. Also this weekend, we have a couple of articles going up at greatdetectives.net. For Saturday, I offer my review of Dossier on Demetrius, the first ever Major Gregory Keane serial from Australia. Then on Sunday, we continue our countdown of radio's most essential people with number 10 on the list. So you can check those out at greatdetectives.net. You can also subscribe to the articles through the Kindle store if you have a Kindle. Now it's time for today's episode of the lineup, The Elsner Case.
Ladies and gentlemen, by transcription, we take you now behind the scenes of a police headquarters in a great American city, where under the cold, glaring lights will pass before us the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. This is The Lineup.
Figure I was getting into all this. I thought all I had to do was to tell you what I saw in Whitegate Park last night.
That is all you have to do, Sidney. Here, sit down. It'll only take a few minutes. We want to see if you can identify the man in the park who walked past the bench where you and your girl were, that's all.
Oh.
We picked up someone who fits the description you gave us.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, like I said, Lieutenant, Gloria, my girl that is, was repairing her lipstick when this guy sauntered by. Boy, imagine me putting a finger on a murder.
Now, hold it, Sidney.
May I have
Just
your
look and
attention,
listen,
please? You people out there on the other side of the wire in the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb, Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered. I'll call off a number, their name and charge. If you have any questions or identifications, please remember the number assigned to the prisoner as I call his name. If you're sure or not too sure of the suspect, have him held. The officers who took your name will assist you. They're seated among you.
Oh, wait till I tell the guys in the block about this, huh, Lieutenant?
Your identification. When the prisoners leave here, they are sent to the bathroom and dressed back into their jail clothes. It makes it quite difficult to bring them back after they leave here. The questions I ask these suspects are merely to get a natural tone of voice, so do not pay too much attention to their answers as they often lie. Bring on the line. All right, boys, all right, let's move. This way, over to the end of the stage. That's it. Now turn and face the front. Hands to your sides, look straight ahead. Number 1, Charles Elsner, assault. Why were you fighting, Charles?
Self-defense, Teddy. Wished I was dead.
Talk up, Charles.
It was self-defense, Teddy. Wished I was dead.
Witnesses say you started it, Charles.
They ain't witnesses. They're cockeyed liars. His buddy.
Number 2, Maurice Calder, drunk and disorderly on private property. Where do you live, Maurice?
It all depends on the weather.
Why did you start a disturbance in the theater lobby?
I was drunk, I guess. Anyhow, when I got inside, I found out I'd already seen the picture and they wouldn't give me my 40 cents back.
Number 3, Jimmy Vedder, vagrancy. How long have you been in town, Vedder?
61 years, Sergeant. I don't know if I was born here.
There, Lieutenant. That one.
You,
like I told you,
had a job?
bald and with a nose as flat as a pancake.
Sergeant Graham.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Number 3, hold for interrogation.
Okay, Vedder, right in here. I'll be back in a few minutes, Ben.
Okay, Matt. Come in, Vedder. Sit down over there.
Yes, sir.
We want a few facts, Vedder. Early this morning, an unidentified woman of about 60 was found choked to death in the park. A nice-looking unidentified woman of about 60, Vedder. Nice-looking until she was strangled.
So?
So the coroner says she was murdered sometime between 9 and 11 last night.
I don't get it, Lieutenant. This morning I'm picked up in an alley sleeping off a snoot food. Now this, where's the connection?
A kid who was necking in the park last night, not 50 feet away from the dead woman. That's the connection, Vedder. A kid who read about the killing in this morning's paper and came in and gave us a description of the man he saw in the park at a little after 11.
I still don't get it.
Well, then try this. The description the kid gave us was a bald man with a nose flat as a pancake who keeps sniffing all the time. That, Vedder, is the reason we picked you up, not for sleeping in an alley.
No.
And just to make it all real tight, 5 minutes ago, the kid identified you in the lineup.
No, that ain't so. He couldn't have. It was dark there in the park. Okay, Lieutenant, I was in the park, all right. I might as well save us both a lot of time and tell you the rest.
You killed her, Vedder? A stick-up that got out of hand when she started to yell?
No, Lieutenant. She was dead when I got there. Could I have a smoke, Lieutenant?
Yeah.
I was walking through the park, Lieutenant, looking for a good spot to flop for the night when I saw something shiny off in the bushes away. This here house key. When I bent down to pick it up, I saw the body. She was dead like a doornail.
And there was no one around? You sure of that?
Positive. I looked good. Anyhow, I was flat broke, so I went through her pocket. She didn't have no pocketbook. Just $1.50 and change in her coat. That's all I took, and I beat it. I walked slow past those kids on the bench so they wouldn't be suspicious. That's all, Lieutenant. The truth, so help me.
The lineup's finished, Ben. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah. Turn Vedder here over to Sergeant Quine, will you, Matt? Gonna hold him on suspicion of murder.
Lieutenant, I already told you.
Let's go, Vedder.
Be right back, Ben.
Right.
Hi, Becker.
Hi, man. Good morning, Lieutenant. Here's the first report on that body in Whitegate Park. Not much.
No identification yet, Becker.
And it may be a while. Most of the stuff she was wearing was homemade and home washed, so no labels and no laundry marks.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's no record of her prints here or in Washington. Coroner's office is checking on her dental work now. Call you as soon as we get something, Lieutenant.
Right.
See you, Matt.
Yeah. Well, Ben, what did Becker have? Does it look like Jimmy Vedder?
Maybe, I don't know. He says he was walking through the park, spotted this key and then the body. Admits robbing it, no more.
Mm-hmm. Well, where do we go from here, Ben?
Well, until we get something on the body. This key, I guess. Come on, let's check with Harrison on the robbery detail. Get a listing of locksmiths.
Lieutenant, you may be lucky at this key.
Now, how's that, Harrison?
One thing, the number punched on it, but the locksmith who turned it out, this G104 here, is a local serial number.
Mm-hmm.
Get the name and address out of the file in a minute. But better than that, the key itself is for a Brasso Dunlap lock. It's pretty rare in this part of the country, so the locksmith may remember who he made it for. Of course, on a Yale or master padlock wouldn't stand a chance.
Well, don't locksmiths have to keep a record on each key they turn out, Harrison?
No, Sergeant. Only keep a record when they make a key for a specific lock, not when they make a key for key. Let's see who G104 is. E, F, G, 80, 95, 1, 103, 104. Here we are. Wallerman Key Shop, 3920 South Clement Avenue.
You right with you, Jen?
Fine. Well, cross your fingers, Matt, and hope he's part elephant.
Yeah. Okay. Now, gents, what can I do for you?
We're from the police department, Mr. Wallerman. I'm Lieutenant Guthrie. This is Sergeant Grebb. We'd like to ask you about a key.
Oh, key I made?
Yeah. This key, Mr. Wallerman.
Do you happen to know who you made it for?
Brasso Dunlop, huh? Don't often make one of these, once, twice a year. Good luck, all right. But it's unusual.
Well, what is it, Mr. Wallerman? You remember something?
Yeah. Bad temper. Sure. About 2 months ago, officer. Guy with nice clothes and a nice way of talking till he got sore. Yeah, I remember now. Said I took too long. I was a blundering idiot, that's it.
You know this man's name?
His address?
No, I don't. But he does live in the neighborhood.
How do you know that?
Because I've seen him a couple of 3 times at Tommy Lowe's place. Tommy runs a Chinese hand laundry over the next block. This bird must be a customer of his.
What does this man look like?
Oh, he's kind of tall, thin face, sharp nose, but don't worry. Tommy Lowe will know him, officer. Just mention his temper.
Oh, yes, Lieutenant. No man you speak of very well. His name, Mr. Leonard Elsner. He live 105 Duane Boulevard.
Yes?
Mrs. Elsner?
That's right.
We're from the police department, Mrs. Elsner. I'm Lieutenant Guthrie. This is Sergeant Graham.
How do you do?
Mrs. Elsner.
Mrs. Elsner, is your husband at home? We'd like to talk to him.
Yes, he's inside listening to the radio. Just a moment and I'll call him. Excuse me.
Sure.
Oh, Leonard, there's
See if that key fits, will you, man?
Yeah. Yeah, it works all right, Ben.
Here's Elsner. Mr. Elsner, I'm Lieutenant Guthrie. This is Sergeant Graham. We'd like a few words with you, please.
Very well. Living room is this way, gentlemen.
Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Elsner, if you don't mind, we'd like to talk to your husband alone.
Of course.
All right, dear. Sit down, gentlemen. Frankly, I'm curious to know what this is about. Do you mind telling me?
Well, it's about a woman, Mr. Elsner. An elderly, unidentified woman who was found choked to death in the park last night.
What? Woman choked to death? I don't understand. You want to talk to me about that?
That's right. Tell me, Mr. Elsner, did you read about this in the newspapers?
No, I haven't seen the paper today.
Do you mind telling us what you did last night?
I stayed home.
All evening, Mr. Elsner?
Yes, all evening. Now, what is this all about?
Mr. Elsner, do you recognize this key?
Of course. My house key. One just like it.
Do you have your house key with you now, Mr. Elsner?
I do. Together with all my keys. Here.
How many house keys are there? For everyone who lives here, I mean.
3, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know. They're all around.
Does the maid have one?
She does. At least she let herself in with one a few minutes before you arrived.
And your wife, Mr. Elsner, she has a key, of course.
Of course. Now, look here, enough of this. Why all these stupid questions about house keys? What, if anything, do they have to do with the woman who was strangled in Whitegate Park last night?
Well, this key was found near the body, Mr. Elsner, and there were signs of a struggle.
Which could mean that whoever killed the woman dropped this key. Your key.
But I have my house key. I just showed it to you. There. And I'm sure my wife does, too.
And what about extra keys? Are they around?
I couldn't say. House keys are famous for getting lost, Lieutenant.
Did you ever lose one?
Since you've been in this house?
Yes. About 2 or 3 months ago.
Where'd you lose it?
Here, at home, in the street?
I don't know. It wouldn't be lost if I did.
Leonard, darling, your temper, please. Control yourself, please.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I'll be glad to answer your questions. Carol, you'd better leave it to
Oh, that won't be necessary, Mr. Elsner. Now, about last night. You say you were here?
Yes. Carol here went to bazaar. What was it again, dear?
The Woman's Auxiliary of the North Point Country Club. I'm chairman. We're raising money to build a new clubhouse next spring.
I see. Mr. Elsner, did you have any callers last night? Any visitors of any kind?
Yes, I did.
Can you remember them specifically?
I think so. There was the newsboy who was making his weekly collection about 9, I'd say.
For what paper, Mr. Elsner?
The Evening Star.
And anyone after that, Mr. Elsner?
2 people. Along about 10, a delivery boy from the liquor store at King's. He brought 2 bottles of scotch. At 10:30, a friend of my wife's dropped in looking for her, Ruth Millard.
She lives at the Park, Netherlands.
She stayed about 20 minutes. We watched a television show together, a quiz show called Number Please. A Brooklyn housewife won the jackpot. Some question about Steinmetz.
Leonard?
Gentlemen, at 11, I had a long-distance person-to-person call from a Mr. Saul Meadow, toy jobber in Des Moines, Iowa. I manufacture toys. Now, is there anything else?
No, sir. Not right now, anyway. We'll be in touch. Good night, Mrs. Elsner.
Good night. Good night, Sergeant.
Good night, ma'am. Good night, Mr. Elsner.
Good night.
You know, Matt, Mr. Elsner said he didn't read about the killing in the paper.
So?
So I'd like to know how he knew it happened in Whitegate Park. We never mentioned the park by name.
Next Sunday, CBS brings you an exciting, timely appraisal of the world situation and some of the answers when 10 top CBS correspondents are heard in a special broadcast entitled The Challenge of the 50s, Years of Crises. For the past month, these famous CBS reporters have been interviewing world leaders. On next Sunday's broadcast, you'll hear on special recordings what these leaders predict. Edward R. Murrow will be the moderator. Don't miss this unusual, significant broadcast, The Challenge of the 50s, next Sunday afternoon on most of these same CBS stations.
Did you get that, Willis? On Walnut, yes. King's Liquor Store. They're supposed to have sent 2 bottles of scotch to Elsner last night about 10:20. Yeah. And get a hold of the newsboy who collects for that route, will you? It's the Evening Star. Yeah, that's right. And put a tracer on a person-to-person call Elsner claims he got at 11 from a Saul Meadows in Des Moines. Yeah. I want every bit of that alibi checked. Right.
You know, Ben, personally, I think you're wasting your time.
What, checking Elsner's alibi?
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Too many people involved to be a phony.
Well, we'll see. There's something wrong there someplace, Matt.
Well, the keymaker backs up Elsner in his story about losing the key. For my money, you're reaching quite a ways to tie a well-to-do guy like Elsner into a threadbare old lady dead in a public park. Why would he do it, Ben? That's what beats me. Why?
Well, you got me.
Well, anyway, I'd go easy if I were you. Elsner's the kind of bird that really blows his lid over a false arrest. In fact, there was...
Come in.
Hi, Lieutenant. Matt.
Hi, Becca.
Well, we got an identification on the old lady in Whitegate Park.
Good.
We traced the shoes. They'd been half soled lately, and we finally located the shoemaker. A guy way out in the Henning district. He just now identified the body.
Well, who is she?
Edna Clooney, 4412 Durban Street. That's a walk-up, and it checks out.
Who'd you talk to there, Becca?
A landlady, a Mrs. Peters. She says Mrs. Clooney's had a room there for about 6 months.
Let's go, man.
I just can't believe it. She was such a sweet little old thing. Why, terrible, that's what it is. Down this way, gentlemen.
Thank you.
When did you say it happened?
Last night, Mrs. Peters, sometime between 9 and 11.
Didn't you notice she was gone today, ma'am?
No, I didn't, Sergeant. Sometimes I go a week or more without seeing all my tenants, especially the quiet ones. This is her door here. Ooh, right. stuffy in here. I'd better open the window.
No, I wouldn't bother. We won't be here long.
Yeah, we just want to look around. Maybe she kept a date book or a diary or something.
If she did, it'd be over there in that table with the drawer.
Oh, here, huh? Oh, she was sure a tidy housekeeper.
She was a nice, sweet woman, Sergeant. One of the best tenants I ever had. Oh, it's terrible. I can't imagine.
Now, this picture, Mrs. Peters, who is it? Do you know?
Why, yes, that's her. Oh, my goodness.
Now, what's the matter?
That's Jim, her son. Why, that boy doesn't even know yet that his mother is dead.
Is he here in town?
Well, as far as I know, he lives over on the south side someplace. Works in a mill over there. A stamping mill, I think.
You wouldn't know the name then, huh?
Could it be McClellan and Lamb? She's got a metal ashtray here and a letter opener, both stamped with compliments of McClellan and Lamb, 1024 South Market.
Now, let's try it. Now, Mrs. Peters, leave everything just as it is and keep this room locked, will you? We may be back.
This must be him, Ben.
You the fellows who wanted to see me? I'm Jim Clooney.
Yeah, and let's go inside here, Jim. Out of this noise where we can talk.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'm Lieutenant Ben Guthrie. This is Sergeant Greb. I'm from the police department, Jim.
Police? What do you want with me?
No, wait. I'm afraid we've got some bad news for you. It's your mother.
Mom? What's happened to her? She hurt?
It's worse than that, fella.
She's dead, Jim.
Dead?
It happened last Sunday night.
Her body was found in Whitegate Park.
Park? But how?
She was murdered, Jim.
Mom? Murder? Who did it?
We don't know. But maybe you can help us. Just answer some questions.
Sure. Go ahead. I'm okay. What do you want to know?
When did you see your mother last, Jim?
Yesterday afternoon. About 1 o'clock, I guess. Buddy drove me out to her place. Lieutenant, I don't get this. Mom never went out at night. Oh, maybe once or twice to a movie, but the park, she never went in there.
When you were with her, did she seem upset about anything?
No, not a bit. We just sat around and talked like always.
Now, what did you talk about? Anything special?
No, the same old things. My job, draft, my gas station.
You've got a gas station, Jim?
Oh, it's not really mine. It's one I'd like to have. It's out on Grand. The guy's going to sell out and retire. He used to talk about me buying it and going into business for myself. I'll never have that kind of money. Yesterday, Mom was kidding around that she was going to borrow the down payment for me. She ran into a wealthy old friend, she said.
Now, who was that, Jim?
Oh, some guy she knew 25 years ago. He worked for the same company up in Evanston for a while after my dad died.
Uh-huh.
She hadn't seen this guy since then, but, well, she ran into him on the street last week and recognized him. She got a big kick out of it.
Did she mention his name?
Yeah, it was Melvin something. Melvin Berry it was.
You know where we can get in touch with him?
No. Why do you want him?
Well, maybe your mother wasn't kidding about borrowing the money, I mean. Mothers are funny where their kids are concerned, you know. Oh, by the way, did you ever hear of a Leonard Elsner? Lives up on Duane Boulevard?
Leonard Elsner. No. Wait a minute. That's funny.
What's funny, Jim?
But you mentioned that Duane Boulevard.
Why? What about it?
Why, Mom used to go up there quite a bit. She used to take a bus to the library up there.
And what, Jim?
I think she said that that's where she was, coming out of the library when she ran into this Melvin Berry.
Say, Becker, you seen Lieutenant Guthrie?
Yep, about 30 minutes ago, Matt. He was on his way down to the file.
Oh, okay, thanks.
If they take the papers to the right person, they won't have
Ben?
Yeah, back here, Matt.
Oh.
Any luck?
Yeah. We had to dig back into the desk for this one. Have a look.
Melvin Berry escaped from state penitentiary February 1930.
Uh-huh. Evanston had him for embezzlement. Tried and convicted up there in December 1929. Got 5 years.
Nice-looking guy. Pretty dapper with that mustache.
Matt, do you see what I see?
Huh? No, I guess not.
Well, look. Skip the mustache. Forget it. The eyes, Matt. The eyes.
Holy smoke. You weren't wasting your time checking on that alibi after all, Ben.
Lieutenant Guthrie. Good, put him on. Yeah, go ahead, Willis. What? The checks? All of it? You sure? Okay, Willis, that's all.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, Elsner's alibi is airtight.
That's almost impossible.
But it's a fact. Let's go, Matt.
Go where?
To the Elsner residence, 105 Duane Boulevard.
But you just said...
I know what I said. Let's go.
When you fellows were here before, I tried my best to cooperate.
I know. But we found out a few things since then. We want to find out a few more.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, there are 4 parks in this city.
That's an interesting bit of information.
So how did you know the murder took place at Whitegate? You said you hadn't read about it? Neither of us mentioned Whitegate.
Why, it's a perfectly natural assumption. That's the largest park in town. I simply assumed...
For another thing, we had a long talk with Jim Clooney today. He's the dead woman's son. He told us how his mother ran into an old friend right out here on Duane Boulevard.
She hadn't seen the man in 25 years.
So what? If you've got a point, get to it or get out of here.
Leonard, please.
I'll get to it, Mr. Elsner. The man's name was Melvin Berry.
Leonard?
Be quiet, girl. Go on, Guthrie.
We checked on him. He was convicted of embezzlement up in Evanston back in 1929. Escaped from prison in 1930. He was never caught. Of course, we have his picture and prints. It won't be any trouble.
I don't know what you're talking about. If this is some crazy way of accusing me of murder, then arrest me. Go on.
Nobody's accusing you of murder, Elsner. We know you didn't do it.
Huh? But you...
Of course not. You were home here. Your alibi checked all the way.
That's right. But there are all the circumstances. We can't ignore them in spite of a perfect alibi. You know, Mrs. Elsner, a life like that Melvin Berry lives must be pretty miserable. Constantly afraid that the next time he turns around, somebody will recognize him. Always under a shadow of fear. No matter how successful he is, there's always the dread that sometime, someplace, someone will know him. Don't you think so, Mrs. Elsner?
Must be even worse for a woman who loves a guy like that. Wouldn't you say, Mrs. Elsner?
She could never escape it, could she? The more she stood to lose, like wealth and social position, the worse it got until finally...
Finally, Edna Clooney was murdered. Edna Clooney ran up against a person like that just because she recognized an old friend who had a secret. She didn't know about the secret, but she did want to borrow money.
And that's all it took, wasn't it? The killer could only figure one way. Blackmail. Everything was ruined. Suddenly, all the fears and all the suspicions that had been piling up for years broke loose, didn't they? Didn't they?
Yes.
Carol, don't.
Yes. Yes, Lieutenant. I can't take any more. I had to do it. I had to kill her. I knew it from the instant Leonard told me she'd recognized him as Melvin Berry. No other way out, no other way. I left the bazaar, arranged to meet her in the park. When she said she wanted money, I grabbed her, choked her. Leonard didn't know anything about it until you came in with my keys.
Okay. Give her some help, Elsner, until she gets hold of herself. And we'll all go downtown and put it on paper.
The lineup, where before you pass the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. Listen again next week when we again bring you The Lineup.
May I have your attention, please? You people out there on the other side of the wire in the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb, Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered. I'll call off a number, then name and charge. If you have any questions or identifications, please remember the number assigned to the prisoner as I call his name. If you're sure or not too sure of the suspect, and in hell.
The Lineup, starring Bill Johnstone as Lieutenant Ben Guthrie and Wally Mayer as Sergeant Matt Grebb, is written by Gene Levitt and Bob Mitchell, with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Gil Stratton, Ted Osborne, Parley Bear, Herb Butterfield, Robert Griffin, and Virginia Gregg. The Lineup was transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. The big postseason football game of the year, the Rose Bowl contest between Michigan and California, will be broadcast next Monday, New Year's Day, over most of these same CBS stations. For action, color, excitement, be sure you're on hand for this great sports event, the Rose Bowl game between Michigan and California. Dan Cumberly speaking. This is CBS, where you find songs for sale every Friday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. And we have yet another case of crooks assuming everyone else must be crooked. And, of course, the poor lady who was killed had no idea about the secret. But it was assumed that the only reason she would be asking for a loan or for money to help out her son was not for old time's sake, but because she knew about the secret. And leads to a bit of a tragic end here. All right, well, that'll do it for today. Join us tomorrow. We'll be bringing you a video theater episode, one last episode of The Court of Last Resort, ahead of next week being the final episode we have of A Life in Your Hands. Our listener support campaign continues. Support us at support.greatdetectives.net. Follow the program on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and be sure and fill out our listener survey, survey.greatdetectives.net. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.